Honorable Federal Minister Ahsan Iqbal, esteemed panelists, excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are experiencing a remarkable era characterized by groundbreaking technologies and innovations that are reshaping the economies and societies across the globe. The economic paradigms are undergoing significant shifts as the advent of new technologies is fundamentally reshaping business operations and the nature of work itself. I remember as students of economics, we used to study that the basic economic model where you have an agrarian economy first, and then it transforms eventually to an industrialized society, and then a knowledge-based services-based society, and then a knowledge-based society, and so on. But that has all changed now because we have seen countries and economies leapfrogging those classical stages of economic transformation. Countries such as UAE, for instance, we have seen that they directly from sort of being fishing communities, they have become services economies, and in fact now they are becoming digital economies. So these technologies are changing everything, our societies, our economies, the way we live. This modern day digital transformation has been particularly pronounced in the aftermath of the COVID. The devastating COVID had a silver lining too. It proved to be a trigger, a catalyst for this change. As a result, the future is unfolding at a pace which is faster than what had been anticipated. However, we have to recognize that within this transformative wave, there exists a notable disparity in participation levels among different demographies and regions and countries. While some individuals and sectors and countries are reaping the benefits of the new opportunities created by digital transformation, others are being left behind, unable to access or leverage these advancements. To address this challenge, new ways of thinking and adaptations are urgently required to realign existing policies and institutions with the realities of the digital global economy. And ladies and gentlemen, we must admit that our policies and institutions have been slow to adopt to the rapid transformations that we have witnessed elsewhere. In order to fully realize the potential of today's smart machines and digital technologies, it is essential that our policies evolve to be just as intelligent and forward-thinking. Given that the Digital Pakistan Policy and Digital Pakistan Initiative aptly sets goals of establishing a robust digital ecosystem that would include the necessary infrastructure and institutional framework to facilitate the swift delivery of innovative digital services, applications, and content. This initiative is designed to create an environment conducive to the growth of a digital economy, where knowledge and technology can flourish. In this digital transformation journey, a particular focus is placed on equipping the citizens, especially the youth, with the essential skills required to thrive in a modern digital economy. Such an endeavor would be crucial for enabling cross-sector socioeconomic development and transforming various aspects of economic activities, governance models, social interaction, and the pursuit of sustainable development goals. Recognizing that digital transformation is a comprehensive initiative, it necessitates close coordination and collaboration with the private sector. This collaboration is vital to ensure that the strategies developed are relevant and effectively address the needs of all stakeholders involved. Given that, the theme of today's conference, that is empowering a digital Pakistan, is of paramount importance. It holds great significance as it delves deeply into the subject of digital transformation in Pakistan. It will evaluate the current status of digital initiatives within the country, identify key areas that require improvement, and draw lessons from global best practices in digital transformation. Also, the conference will explore the importance of stakeholder engagement and gather valuable input from government officials, industry experts, and academics and thinkers alike. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, this conference aims to propose actionable recommendations that can help overcome the challenge currently faced in the realm of digital transformation. It will focus on strategies to accelerate digital initiatives, enhance skill development, and bridge the existing skill gap within Pakistan. Given the importance of these discussions, this conference would contribute greatly to our future policymaking efforts. By bringing together brilliant minds from various sectors, both within government and without, this conference will provide a platform for sharing insights that can help understand the challenges and shape the pathways for Pakistan's digital transformation. The collective suggestions and strategies that will be developed during this event, I hope will play an important role in guiding the implementation of effective digital transformation policies in the country. I am keenly looking forward to a great discussion today, spearheaded by very eminent and greatly knowledgeable Federal Minister, who's a scholar as well. So I am looking forward to a great session today. Lastly, I would just mention one thing, ladies and gentlemen. Some days ago, I have a friend who had some real estate dispute in Dubai, and he was going to do a court hearing there online, virtually. So he invited me to just be there and see the proceedings. And it was an amazing experience. What I saw was, like he had to wait there, before the camera for about 30 minutes. And we were, a couple of friends were sitting next to him. And what we saw was that within 30 minutes, that court took up about 20-25 cases. And in every case, what used to, there would be the petitioner, the defendants, they would be there virtually. The judge would just ask them a few questions. And then, because he was already prepared, he'd done his homework. And then he would say, okay, the decision has been reserved, or the decision will be announced within a week, or the decision will be announced today. So in 30-35 minutes, I actually saw almost 15-20 court cases decided. Compare that to the judicial system that we have, whereby we know that just to get a date of hearing, sometimes months and months pass, and cases, are decided much more gradually. So the point is, these technologies if properly utilized, can really transform our economy. They can transform our governance. They can transform our lives. So with these words, I would thank you all for being here today, especially the Minister for Planning and Development, and I very much look forward to the insightful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, I have the privilege of inviting the President of COPER, Ms. Amna Munawwar Awan, to share her welcome remarks. Ma'am, the floor is all yours.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Minister S.N. Iqbal Saab, our worthy Ambassador Johar Salim Saab, our co-partner for this joint initiative, our speakers, Dr. Haider Abbas Saab, Puram Rahat Saab, Amir Shahzad Saab, Ambassador Khalid Mahmood Saab, Brigadier Mansoor Saab, Amar Jafri Saab, Honorable Ambassadors, civil society, heads of the think tank, experts, and our media friend. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome all of you on the behalf of Center of Pakistan and International Relations and Institute of Regional Studies on this very important national conference on empowering digital Pakistan. This subject is somehow very close to my heart. Firstly, I transformed my own 60 group of companies digitally and efficiently and effectively. And it reduced not only my cost, but efficiency. And as a female business leader, I'm smartly handling through digital transformation my own setup. Secondly, our think tank, Center of Pakistan and International Relations, it is the first digital think tank which is working on digital diplomacy, climate diplomacy, and other initiatives, Startup Pakistan, which is based on a digital platform, where, alhamdulillah, in this month, 16,000 kids are studying online, and they are enjoying the virtual internship. So we realized as an institute and Institute of Regional Studies that we should work on the policy advocacy of how to empower digital Pakistan. This national conference and the worthy speakers and His Excellency, you are also very close to this concept of digitalization and developing our human resource. And I myself saw your initiative of developing the Center of Excellence of AI. Then recently you launched the Center for Excellence for Quantum Technology. So this shows the visionary leadership of the Prime Minister of Pakistan and his team, that they consider that if Pakistan has to lead as a soft power, so digital transformation is one of the important weapon for us. Whether it is our future governance, whether it is future warfare, we need to equip our youth on digital technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, cyber security, metaverse, quantum computing, and any other IoT devices, smart cities. So these are the technologies we need to equip ourselves. However, as our developing countries, Pakistan face different challenges. First of all, we are not having the enough technological and financial support to meet the challenging requirement of the evolving industry. IT is an evolving industry. But yes, if we decide that we are going to empower one individual digitally, we can together support each other and we can together work as one team. Ambassador Johar Salim Saab and our think tank earlier work on cybersecurity initiative. We worked on certain recommendation, and we believe that the government of Pakistan is working on a comprehensive digital Pakistan policy framework. So we believe that in this conference recommendations, we can also propose certain recommendations that how Pakistan can be digitally empowered. I welcome Honorable Minister, and I welcome all the worthy guests who are over here, and looking forward to hear from our speakers and our worthy Chief of Guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. It is now my distinct honor to invite our chief guest, the Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, Mr. Ehsan Iqbal Chaudhary, to share his insights. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to the Minister.
Rahim. Excellency Ambassador Mr. Johar Salim, President IRS, Ms. Amna Munawar Anwar, President COPAIR, distinguished guests, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. I see the media here, so I'll switch to Urdu, so maybe that way I can reach a wider audience. سب سے پہلے میں شکریہ ادا کروں گا IRS کا اور کوپیر کا کہ ایک بہت اہم موضوع کے اوپر انہوں نے آج کے اس سیمینار کا انعقاد کیا ہے. ابھی ایمبیسڈر صاحب فرما رہے تھے کہ تاریخ میں مختلف مرحلے آتے ہیں جس سے قومیں ترقی کرتی ہیں. تو اسی بحث میں یہ کہوں گا کہ تاریخ میں انسانی تہذیب نے بھی اپنے سفر کو مختلف ایسے مراحل سے گزارا ہے جنہیں بایولوجی کی زبان میں اسٹیٹ آف پنکچویٹڈ ایکویلیبریم کہتے ہیں، کہ جب سٹیٹس کو ٹوٹتا ہے اور ایک نیا آرڈر اس پر آتا ہے. اگر آپ سیزر اور نیپولین کے درمیان تاریخ کا فاصلہ نکالیں تو وہ 1000 سال سے زیادہ فاصلے پہ محیط ہے. لیکن سیزر اور نیپولین دونوں کی فوجیں گھوڑوں پر سوار ہو کے جنگ میں اترتی تھیں. تو کئی ہزار سال انسانی تمدن اور تہذیب گھوڑے کی رفتار سے چلتی رہی. لیکن نیپولین کے تقریباً 70 سال بعد جب پہلا صنعتی انقلاب وجود میں آیا تو سٹیم انجن نے گھوڑے کی جگہ لے لی اور انسان کی حرکت اور ترقی کی رفتار سٹیم اور اس کے بعد جیٹ اور پھر راکٹ انجنز نے لے لی. اور وہ ایک نیا صنعتی دور تھا جس میں پچھلے دور کے جو بڑے کھلاڑی یا پلیئرز تھے جنہوں نے اس نئی تبدیلی کو امبریس نہیں کیا وہ کھیل سے باہر ہو گئے اور نئے ونرز ایمرج کیے جن کا زیادہ تر تعلق یورپ اور نارتھ امریکہ سے تھا. لیکن 20ویں صدی کے اندر یہ کامیابی کا گر ایسٹ ایشین کنٹریز نے سیکھا اور ایشیا کے کئی ممالک بھی اس راستے پر کامیابی سے گامزن ہوئے. لیکن پھر 20ویں صدی کے آخر میں وہ صنعتی ریولوشن جو 200-250 سال تک رہا وہ پھر تبدیل ہو گیا اور اس کی جگہ نالج ریولوشن یا ڈیجیٹل ریولوشن نے لے لی، جس میں کہ اب جیٹ انجن راکٹ انجن کی رفتار نہیں، ہر چیز کی رفتار الیکٹران کی سپیڈ کے ساتھ جڑ گئی کہ کس سرعت کے ساتھ کس تیزی کے ساتھ کوئی ملک اس تبدیلی کو نہ صرف امبریس کرتا ہے بلکہ اپنے اندر اس رفتار کو اپنے ہر شعبے میں اختیار کرتا ہے، اس پہ اس کی کامیابی کا انحصار ہے. اور اس تبدیلی کے ساتھ ہی پھر نئے ونرز اور لوزرز کی فہرست مرتب ہونے لگی ہے. تو جب ایسا موقع آتا ہے تو وہ ایک ایسا مرحلہ ہے کہ جہاں پر کیچ اپ کرنے کے لیے لوزرز کو ایک تاریخ موقع دیتی ہے کہ جب کھیل یا بازی پلٹ دی جائے اور ایک نیا کھیل کی بساط بچھائی جائے تو اس میں آپ سب ایک صف میں کھڑے ہو جاتے ہیں اور ساری دنیا، چاہے وہ امریکہ جیسا ملک ہے یا پاکستان جیسا ترقی پذیر ملک ہے، جب ڈیجیٹل ریولوشن آیا تو امریکہ کے اندر ان کی اتنی ہیوی انویسٹمنٹ تھی اینالاگ ٹیکنالوجی کے اندر کہ انہیں اپنے ٹیلی کمیونیکیشن کے نظام میں ڈیجیٹائزیشن کرتے ہوئے اس سے زیادہ وقت لگا جس تیزی کے ساتھ پاکستان نے اس کو امبریس کیا. چونکہ ہمارے پاس کوئی انفراسٹرکچر نہیں تھا جس کی کاسٹ ہمیں بہت زیادہ ایگزٹ کی ہوتی، کاسٹ آف ایگزٹ ہماری بالکل زیرو تھی، تو ہم نے نئی ٹیکنالوجی کو امبریس کیا اور تقریباً پہلے دن سے ہی ڈیجیٹل ٹیکنالوجی کے اوپر ہمارا ٹیلی کمیونیکیشن نیٹ ورک استوار ہوا. تو لہٰذا یہ ایک بہت بڑا موقع ہے ملکوں کے لیے کہ وہ اس کو امبریس کریں اور چینج کریں. سو آج ہر کسی کی زندگی میں ڈیجیٹل ٹیکنالوجی ٹچ کر رہی ہے. ہماری وہ جنریشن ہے جس نے اس تغیر کو سلیٹ سے لے کر یا تختی سے لے کر 5G تک منتقل ہوتے دیکھا ہے، اور آنے والی نسلیں شاید اس سے بھی زیادہ تیز رفتاری کے ساتھ 5G سے 50G کا سفر دیکھیں گی، اور کس تیزی کے ساتھ یہ سفر آگے بڑھے گا. تو اس لیے صنعتی انقلاب میں big used to eat the small, but in this revolution fast eats the slow, regardless of how big or small you are. So ہمیں اپنے اندر وہ ایجلٹی لے کر آنی ہے کہ جس کے ساتھ ہم امبریس کریں اس نئے دور کو اور اس ٹیکنالوجی کو ہر شعبے کے اندر شامل کریں. لیکن کسی بھی ملک کے لیے کوئی پالیسی اڈاپٹ کرنا پل، سڑک یا موٹر وے کی تعمیر جیسا کام نہیں ہوتا. پالیسیز کو نتیجہ خیز ہونے کے لیے کم از کم 10 سے 15 سال درکار ہوتے ہیں، اور یہی وجہ ہے کہ اگر آپ دنیا کے تمام ممالک کا جائزہ لیں جن میں دوسری جنگ عظیم کے بعد ترقی ہوئی، جاپان، کوریا، ملیشیا، ویتنام، چائنا، بنگلہ دیش، انڈیا، ترکی، ان سب میں آپ کو کم سے کم 10 سال کے دورانیے نظر آئیں گے سیاسی حکومتوں کے، جنہوں نے 10 سال کی پالیسی کنسسٹنسی اینڈ کنٹینیوٹی کو یقینی بنایا. آج ہم جہاں کھڑے ہیں، ہم نے دنیا میں شاید ان ممالک میں شمار ہوتا ہے ایشیا کے اندر کہ بہت ساری تبدیلیوں کو بہت پہلے امبریس کیا. کراچی میں جب حبیب بینک پلازا کی بلڈنگ بنی، وہ ہماری ترقی کی علامت تھی، اور 60s میں جب وہ بلڈنگ بنی تو کراچی سے مشرق میں کسی شہر میں اتنی اونچی بلڈنگ نہیں تھی. کراچی ہیڈ دا ڈسٹنکشن آف ہیونگ دا ٹالسٹ بلڈنگ ان دس پارٹ آف ایشیا. لیکن اس کے بعد آپ نے دیکھا کہ ہم پیچھے رہ گئے، اور وہ سارے ملک جو ہم سے بہت پیچھے تھے رفتہ رفتہ ہمیں پیچھے چھوڑ کر آگے چلے گئے. تو آج ایک ڈیفائننگ مومنٹ پر ہم کھڑے ہیں. ہم نے فیصلہ کرنا ہے کہ ہمارا مستقبل کیا ہوگا. مستقبل اور کسی قوم یا فرد کی تقدیر کچھ نہیں سوائے اس کے فیصلوں کے. The choices a person makes or a nation makes, that decides the destiny of that person and nation. If you continue to make wrong choices, you cannot blame anyone for who you are or what you are. But if you make the right choices, no one else gets the credit for what and who you are except you yourself, that you made your own destiny. کیا پاکستان بنگلہ دیش اور انڈیا سے بڑا چور اور ڈاکو ہے؟ میں آپ سے سوال کرنا چاہتا ہوں کہ کیا ہمارے ہاں کرپشن جو ہے بنگلہ دیش اور انڈیا اور دوسرے جو ایشیا کے ملک ہیں ان سے زیادہ ہے؟ کیا پاکستان ذہنی طور پہ ان ممالک سے خدا نخواستہ کند ہے؟ کیا پاکستان میں محنت کرنے کی صلاحیت دوسرے ممالک سے کم ہے؟ آپ مشرق وسطیٰ میں جائیں، آپ یورپ میں جائیں اور امریکہ میں جائیں، کسی تیسرے ملک کے بندے سے پوچھیں کہ پاکستانیوں کے بارے میں کیا خیال ہے آپ کا، یہ کیسے لوگ ہوتے ہیں، وہ آپ کو 2 چیزیں بتائیں گے کہ یہ بڑے محنتی ہیں اور یہ بڑے ذہین ہیں. ذہین اتنے ہیں کہ ہر چیز کی جگاڑ نکال لیتے ہیں. سو ہمارے بارے میں جو دنیا میں ہمارا برانڈ ہے وہ یہ ہے کہ دے آر ویری انٹیلیجنٹ پیپل اینڈ ویری ہارڈ ورکنگ پیپل. اور اسی لیے آپ دیکھیے مشرق وسطیٰ میں ہماری اتنی بڑی لیبر فورس کئی دفعہ مہنگی بھی ہے، وہ بھی لی جاتی ہے کہ یہ جفا کش لوگ ہیں. لیکن پچھلے 15 سالوں میں 20 سالوں میں ایک آرگنائز طریقے سے پاکستانی قوم کی سیلف اسٹیم کو ڈیمیج کیا گیا، اور ہمیں یہ یقین دلانے کی کوشش کی گئی کہ ہم دنیا کی سب سے بڑی چور اور ڈاکو قوم ہیں، اور اس نے پاکستانی قوم کے سیلف امیج کو بری طرح متاثر کیا. اور اگر آپ میں سے کسی نے سائیکالوجی پڑھی ہے تو آپ اس بات کو جانتے ہوں گے کہ ڈپریشن کا جو مرض ہے وہ تب لاحق ہوتا ہے جب کسی کی سیلف اسٹیم لو ہو جائے، اور جب سیلف اسٹیم لو ہو جاتی ہے تو آپ دو چیزوں میں گرفتار ہوتے ہیں. ایک withdrawal سمٹمز ہوتے ہیں، اور دوسرا یہ ہے کہ آپ نیگیٹو تھنکنگ کے سائیکل میں مبتلا ہو کے یہ سمجھتے ہیں کہ ساری دنیا آپ کے خلاف سازش کر رہی ہے اور سب دنیا آپ کی دشمن ہے. تو ہماری بھی ایک بڑے آرگنائز طریقے سے سائیکولوجیکل کنڈیشننگ کی گئی کہ اس ملک کے اندر ہر شخص چور اور ڈاکو ہے، اور ان چور اور ڈاکوؤں میں سے ایک آپ کے سامنے کھڑا مخاطب ہے. کل نیب نے اس مقدمے کو بالآخر 4 سال بعد دفن کر دیا کہ جس میں 2 سال پہلے مجھے جسٹس اطہر من اللہ کی زیر قیادت چیف جسٹس نے باعزت طور پہ بری کیا گیا تھا، لیکن 2 سال ڈنکا بجایا گیا اس جھوٹے مقدمے کی بنیاد پر کہ جو ناروال سپورٹ سٹی کوئی خدا نہ خواستہ جوئے کا اڈا نہیں تھا، کوئی جرائم کا اڈا نہیں تھا، ایک سپورٹس کا پروجیکٹ تھا. کہ جی وہ ناروال میں کیوں بنا؟ بھئی کوئی اسرائیل یا انڈیا میں تو نہیں بنا. تو لیکن اس کو بنیاد بنا کے نیشن کی ایسی کنڈیشننگ کی گئی کہ ہر کسی کو زبان پہ ایک لفظ سکھا دیا گیا کہ فلاں ہر بندہ چور ہے، ہر بندہ ڈاکو ہے. اور اس نے قوم کے اندر ایک ایسی پولرائزیشن پیدا کر دی، اتنے نفرت کی دیواریں کھڑی کر دی کہ ہماری ایک دوسرے سے مکالمہ کرنے کی صلاحیت بھی ختم ہو گئی. انسانی معاشرے میں اس کی کامیابی میں بڑا انحصار اس بات کا ہوتا ہے کہ آپ ڈائیورسٹی کے اندر یونٹی کریٹ کرنے کی کیسے صلاحیت رکھتے ہیں. میں یہ آپ کو اس لیے تمہید بانٹ رہا ہوں کہ میں 2 لحاظوں سے کیس سٹڈی ہوں. ایک کیس سٹڈی تو چور اور ڈاکو کا ہوں کہ جو جلسوں میں میرے اوپر ایک خان صاحب نے تقریریں کر کے الزام لگائے، لیکن اس کی حقیقت یہ تھی کہ وہ آپ نے دیکھا کہ کروڑوں روپے ضائع کیے گئے. وہ صرف ایک منصوبہ جس کے اوپر یہ سیاست کی گئی، نقصان یہ ہوا کہ میری کردار کشی چھوڑ دیجئے جو ہوئی، میری فیملی نے جو کچھ انڈیور کیا چھوڑ دیجئے، میرے ویل وشرز نے جو کیا، اس منصوبے کی قیمت 4 سال اس کو تنازع میں ڈالنے سے 3 ارب روپے سے 5.5 ارب روپے ہو گئی. اور میری وزارت کے وہ 10-15 افسر جن کی کل جان چھٹی ہے، میری تو 2 سال پہلے چھٹ گئی تھی، کہ جنہیں بلا وجہ اس میں ڈالا گیا تھا، ان سب افسروں نے قسم کھا لی کہ آئندہ سے ہم نے 10 روپے کے کسی فیصلے پہ بھی دستخط نہیں کرنے، کیونکہ ہم 17, 18, 19 گریڈ کے اندر یہ نیب کے وکیلوں کی فیسیں نہیں برداشت کر سکتے. کل کو ہم سے کوئی پھر پوچھے گا یہ کیوں کیا، وہ کیوں کیا، تو بہتر ہے کہ آپ کچھ نہ کریں، اس سے بہتر اس کے آپ کچھ کریں. تو پورے ملک کے اندر اس پالیسی کے نتیجے میں جو کی گئی 4 سالوں تک ملک میں فیصلہ سازی ختم ہو گئی، اور آج ہم اس کا نقصان بھگت رہے ہیں. دیکھیے، ایک صحت مند انسان کو اس کی ہڈی توڑنے کے لیے 1 سیکنڈ لگتا ہے، ایک ضرب ہے اس کی ہڈی توڑ دیتی ہے، لیکن اس فریکچر کو جوڑنے کے لیے کئی مہینے، کئی دفعہ سال تک آپ کو پلسٹر لگا کے پھرنا پڑتا ہے. تو آج ہم بھی ایک فریکچرڈ معیشت، جس پہ 2018 کی چوٹ لگی تھی، 2018 سے پہلے یہی ملک تھا. میرے پاس امریکہ، برطانیہ، یورپ کے سفراء آ کر یہ پوچھا کرتے تھے کہ ایکسلنسی یہ بتائیے کہ ہمارے ملک کی کمپنیاں سی پیک میں کیسے شامل ہو سکتی ہیں، ہم کیسے سی پیک کے اسپیشل اکنامک زونز میں سرمایہ کاری کر سکتے ہیں. سو پاکستان واز فار دا فرسٹ ٹائم ڈارلنگ آف دا انٹرنیشنل انویسٹرز، کہ they were all wanting to come here. اور وہ سب چاہتے تھے کہ ہم سی پیک کے ساتھ کس طرح جوڑ سکتے ہیں، اور ہم نے اپنے ہاتھوں کے ساتھ اس مومنٹ کو کریش کیا. کسی اور کا قصور نہیں، ہمارا اپنا قصور ہے. اور پھر اب ہم ایک بڑے جد و جہد سے گزر رہے ہیں کہ وہ جو لاسٹ کانفیڈنس ہے ہمارے سب سے بڑے دوست ملک چین کا، اس کو کیسے اعتماد دوبارہ حاصل کریں کہ نہیں، کم بیک اینڈ لیٹ اسٹارٹ سی پیک 2.0. تو یہ بات. دوسری مثال آپ کو میں ڈیجیٹل ٹیکنالوجی کی دینا چاہتا ہوں، وہ بھی میں کیس اسٹڈی ہوں کہ 2018 میں ایک نوجوان نے میری زندگی لینے کی کوشش کی، اور یہ اللہ کا ایک معجزہ تھا کہ میں اس سے بچ گیا، اور وہ گولی میری آج بھی جسم میں موجود ہے. دس ینگ مین واز فیڈ ہیٹ تھرو سوشل میڈیا، اور اس ہیٹ نے اس کے ذہن میں ایسا نفرت کا بارود بھرا کہ وہ پستول کے چیمبر سے گولی کی صورت میں نکل کر میرے جسم میں پیوست ہو گیا. اللہ تعالیٰ نے میری جان بچائی. آج ورلڈ اکنامک فورم کے اندر اس سال دنیا کے لیڈروں سے پوچھا گیا کہ سب سے بڑا گلوبل رسک کیا ہے، تو انہوں نے کہا مس انفارمیشن اینڈ پولرائزیشن. سو یہ جو ٹیکنالوجیز ہیں ان کے جہاں بہت فائدے ہیں، یہ اس کا ڈاؤن سائڈ بھی ہے جس سے ہمیں باخبر رہنا چاہیے. آج آپ امریکہ کی جمہوریت دیکھیے، اس میں کیا ہو رہا ہے. امریکہ کی پالیٹکس از نو ڈفرنٹ دین آرز. highly charged, highly polarized, highly divisive. Look what is happening in UK. ایک جھوٹی خبر نے پوری برطانیہ کے اندر ریشیل رائٹس کا بازار گرم کر دیا. This is the destructive power of digital era also. So while on the one hand it has immense opportunity, on the other hand it is also a big challenge کہ ہم اس کو اپنے معاشرے کے اندر ڈس آرڈر پیدا کرنے کا ایک انسٹرومنٹ نہ بننے دیں. تو اسی لیے ہم نے ہمیشہ سے جب ویژن 2010 شروع کیا 98 میں، وی میڈ پاکستان فرسٹ آئی ٹی پالیسی ان 98. لیکن 2 سال بعد ماشاء اللہ لگا کھڑکی سے باہر. پھر ویژن 2025 شروع کیا 2013 میں، 18 تک وی ور ویل آن آر وے، 2018 میں اٹھا کے باہر پھینک دیا. اور وہ ایک، آپ میں سے کون شخص ہے جو اپنے گاڑی پہ ایک ایسا ڈرائیور رکھے گا جس نے زندگی میں کبھی گاڑی نہیں چلائی؟ لیکن آپ میں سے اکثریت ایسے ہیں کہ جنہوں نے ایک ایٹمی طاقت کی چابی ایک ایسے شخص کے ہاتھ میں دینے کی کوشش کی جس نے کبھی یونین کاؤنسل نہیں چلائی تھی. تو اگر آپ ایک اناڑی کو گاڑی پر بٹھائیں گے تو وہ ایکسیڈنٹ ہی کرے گا، وہ منزل پہ نہیں لے کے جائے گا. کیونکہ یہ پاکستان ون آف دا موسٹ کمپلیکس کنٹریز ٹو گورن اینڈ رن ہے. اور میں آپ کو بتاؤں کہ مجھے 30 سال ہو گئے اس شعبے کے اندر، اور اللہ کا شکر ہے کہ مجھے اپنی صلاحیت پر بھی اعتماد ہے. انجینئرنگ کی ڈگری ہے، دنیا کی بیسٹ مینجمنٹ اسکول سے MBA کی ڈگری ہے، 25-30 سال ہینڈز آن ایکسپیرئنس ہے. آج بھی اس گھوڑے کو، منہ زور گھوڑے کو 10 فٹ چلاتے ہوئے سانس چڑھ جاتا ہے. یہ اتنا کمپلیکس پاکستان کا باوجود ڈھانچہ ہے. تو اگر کسی کو اس کے آرکیٹیکچر کا پتہ ہی نہیں کہ یہ نظام چلتا کیسے ہے، آپ سمجھیں کہ وہ آ کے کوئی انقلاب اور معجزہ کر دے گا. ڈسٹرکشن تو ہو سکتی ہے، تعمیر نہیں ہو سکتی. لیکن بہرحال ہم نے ایک تجربہ کیا، اس کی قیمت ابھی بھی ادا کر رہے ہیں اور شاید کتنے سال کریں گے. تو ہمیں اس، میرا جو آخری بات ہے موقع پر، اب بہت سنجیدگی کی ضرورت ہے. The world is moving forward with the speed of electron. We cannot afford to lag behind. Why? In 24 years, we will be standing before history. اس خطے میں 2 ملک 100 سال پورے کریں گے، پاکستان اور بھارت. ہمیں پتہ ہے کہ ہمارا ہمسایہ ملک 100 سال پورے ہونے پہ کہاں کھڑا ہوگا. ہمیں یہ فیصلہ کرنا ہے کہ 100 سال پورے ہونے پہ ہم کہاں کھڑے ہوں گے. اور اس کے لیے وہ 4 چیزیں جو ہر ملک نے ترقی کے لیے پہلے پیدا کی ہیں تو ترقی ہوئی ہے، ان کو اس ملک میں رائج کرنا ہوگا. ورنہ آپ پوری دنیا کے نوبل لاریٹس لا کے بٹھا دیں، 24 کروڑ لوگ یہاں کے تہجد گزار اور ولی ہو جائیں، لیکن وہ 4 چیزیں اگر نہیں ہوں گی تو ہم آگے نہیں بڑھ سکیں گے. امن, پولیٹیکل اسٹیبلٹی, continuity of policy and continuous commitment to reform. یہ 4 چیزیں ہر اس ملک کے اندر ہیں جس نے کامیابی سے ترقی کی. تو لہٰذا اب ہمارے پاس مارجن آف فیلئر نہیں ہے. ہم 22 اپریل میں برنک آف ڈیفالٹ سے ابھی واپس آنا شروع ہوئے ہیں. وی آر ناٹ آؤٹ آف ریڈ زون یٹ اینڈ وی ریئلی ہیو ٹو ورک ہارڈ کہ ہم اس سے اس سطح پر آ جائیں کہ دوبارہ اس ریڈ زون کی طرف نہ جا سکیں جہاں پہ ملک اور مستقبل داؤ پہ لگ سکتا ہے. تو اس کے لیے we all have to work together. There is no path except collaboration. There is no path except working together. جیسے کسی نے کہا کہ coming together is beginning and working and staying together is progress and working together is success. So the nation has to now have a healing touch. We have to come together. We have to leave our smaller identities and work for our one big identity, that is Pakistan. اور we are committed کہ ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن میں پہلے بھی ہمارا جو دور تھا, whether it was 4G اور 5G, we launched it. ہم نے اس دور کے اندر ڈیجیٹل پالیسی لانچ کی, ہم نے اس دور میں ڈیجیٹل انفراسٹرکچر کے پروجیکٹس لانچ کیے, اور اب بھی we are getting ready to launch 5G. اور ہم ڈیجیٹل ایکسیس کو بڑھانے کے لیے تاکہ نو ون از لیفٹ بیہائنڈ کوشش کر رہے ہیں کہ اس انفراسٹرکچر کو ریموٹ ایریاز تک لے کے جایا جائے. ابھی پاکستان نے چائنا کی مدد کے ساتھ سیٹلائٹ لانچ کیا 30 مئی 2024 کو. اس سیٹلائٹ کے ذریعے وی ول بی ایبل ٹو پرووائڈ انٹرنیٹ ٹو آر ریموٹ ایریاز. گلگت بلتستان یا چولستان یا بلوچستان جو ریموٹ ایریاز ہیں وہاں پر ہم انٹرنیٹ دے سکیں گے. تو انٹرنیٹ انفراسٹرکچر ایکسیس اینڈ ہیومن ریسورس ڈیولپمنٹ آر آر پرائرٹیز. وی آر اے ینگ کنٹری. ابھی چائنا کے ساتھ جب پرائم منسٹر گئے تو وی سائنڈ این ایگریمنٹ, سالانہ 2 لاکھ نوجوانوں کو آئی ٹی اسکلز کی ٹریننگ دی جائے گی. اینڈ وی انٹینڈ کہ یہ نوجوان انشاءاللہ پاکستان کو آنے والے وقت میں انفارمیشن پاور بنائیں گے. اس سے پہلے بھی ہم نے جو 1 ملین کے قریب لیپ ٹاپس نوجوانوں میں یونیورسٹیز میں تقسیم کیے, ان نوجوانوں نے پاکستان کو 3rd بگیسٹ ای لانسنگ کنٹری دنیا میں بنا دیا. سو وی ہیو دس ہیوج potential of our young population. If we can connect them with technology, give them the skills and provide them the right ecosystem of innovation, entrepreneurship, I'm sure in next 10 to 15 years, our young people or young population have the potential and talent کہ یہ پاکستان کی تقدیر بدل دیں گے. اور یہ اگلے 15 سالوں میں ہمارے پچھلے 50 سال کا سفر, اس کے جو لیپسز تھے وہ اوور کم کر سکتے ہیں. لیکن شرط یہ ہے کہ ہمیں اس ملک کو فساد سے, انتشار سے, بدامنی سے بچانا ہے. کیونکہ اگر سٹیبلٹی نہیں ہوگی, کانٹینیوٹی نہیں ہوگی تو پالیسیز کام نہیں کریں گی. اور اس کی مثال, میں ایک دیہاتی علاقے سے ہوں, آپ شہری لوگ بھی سمجھتے ہوں گے کہ کسی پودے کو یا بیج کو جب آپ زمین پہ لگا دیتے ہیں تو اس کے بعد آپ زمین پہ ہل نہیں چلا سکتے. پھر آپ کو سوائل کو سٹیبلٹی دینی ہے so that the seed germinates, seed grows its roots and it blossoms into a plant and it gives, flower or it gives whatever. لیکن اگر آپ بیج یا پودا لگانے کے بعد اسے اکھیڑتے جائیں گے, پھر لگاتے جائیں گے, تو وہ کبھی نہیں لگے گا. تو لیٹس کمٹ آور سیلوز کہ ناؤ وی ول انشاءاللہ ناٹ کمپرومائز آن آر اسٹیبلٹی ان دس کنٹری. ویل موو فارورڈ. وی ہیو این ایجنڈا بفور اس, بڑا کلیئر روڈ میپ ہے. اینڈ آئی وانٹ ٹو ایشور یو کہ وی آر ورکنگ ڈے اینڈ نائٹ ٹو میک شیور کہ ہم پاکستان کو ایک اسٹیبل اکنامک فاؤنڈیشن دیں کہ جو ایک پراسپرس فیوچر کی بنیاد بنے. اور ہمیں اس ٹیکنالوجی سے ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن سے فائدہ تبھی ہم اٹھا سکتے ہیں کہ جب ہم اپنے مینٹل ماڈلز کو بھی ڈیجیٹل کریں. یہ نہیں ہو سکتا کہ انڈسٹریل دور کی تھنکنگ کے ساتھ آپ ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن کر لیں. آپ کو اپنے پروسیسز بھی ری انجینئر کرنے پڑتے ہیں, آپ کو اپنا وے آف ورک بھی بدلنا پڑتا ہے. تو اٹ از ناٹ جسٹ دیٹ یو برنگ ان سم ہارڈ ویئر, کمپیوٹرز لا کے بٹھا دیے اور اس کے بعد ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن ہو گئی. ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن کے پیچھے ایک بہت بڑی ہیومن ٹرانسفارمیشن, ورک ٹرانسفارمیشن کا عمل ہوتا ہے کہ جس کے بعد آپ ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن از یور اینڈ ریزلٹ کہ جس پہ آپ پہنچ سکتے ہیں. تو اس کے لیے ہم سب کو امبریس کرنا چاہیے, تیار ہونا چاہیے. اور آخری بات یہ کہ دنیا میں کوئی ایسا مسئلہ نہیں ہے جس کا حل اس کمرے میں موجود لوگوں کے پاس نہیں ہے. میری جگہ شاید آپ میں سے اکثریت کو یہاں پہ بلا لیا جائے تو مجھ سے بہتر تقریر ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن پہ کر دیں گے. سو وی آر ناٹ شارٹ آف نالج, وی آر شارٹ آف امپلیمنٹیشن. اور اسٹینفورڈ یونیورسٹی کے پروفیسرز نے ایک ریسرچ کی, انہوں نے کہا کہ جو سکھ آرگنائزیشنز ہوتی ہیں ان کی ایک علامت یہ ہوتی ہے کہ دے ہیو اے ہیوج نوئنگ ڈوئنگ گیپ. دے نو تھنگس but they cannot put them to implementation. For a number of reasons, maybe the status quo culture is too strong, there is risk aversiveness, یا اور incentives ایسے ہیں کہ وہ آپ کو روکتے ہیں کہ آپ ان چیزوں کو, نئی چیزوں کو کر سکیں. لیکن ان کی علامت یہ ہوتی ہے کہ نالج بہت ہوتا ہے لیکن عمل زیرو ہوتا ہے. اور جو کامیاب آرگنائزیشنز ہیں وہ ہیں کہ they can put their knowledge to work. So I think we also suffer from this malaise or disease, knowing doing gap, huge knowing doing gap. In every sector, we all know what needs to be done, but implementation is very poor. So let us be now very action oriented, very practical, and I assure you that as it was said that there will be practical suggestions. Whatever practical suggestions will come out of this seminar, I assure you that we will put them into implementation. Pakistan Zindabad.
Thank you, sir. I would like to first invite Ambassador Johar Salim to present a souvenir to our chief guest, Mr. Ehsan Iqbal Chaudhry. Following that, may I kindly ask all our esteemed panelists and speakers to please join us on the stage for a group photo with the minister, including Dr. Haider, Dr. Babar, Mr. Khurram Rahat, Mr. Amir Shahzad, and Mr. Ehsan Durrani. Sir. Sir, आगे आ- Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We will be starting our next session in 5 minutes. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We would like the guests to settle down in order to resume the event. Acha. Assalamu alaikum. I kindly request everyone to take their seats so we can resume the event. I welcome everyone back. Now, I would like to hand over the proceedings of the formal session to our moderator, Mr. Ehsan Durrani. Mr. Durrani works at a cross-section of public policy and social development, with a diverse experience in the areas of institutional governance, youth development, conflict analysis, tech policy, and inclusive education. He has also served in various departments of government of KP in policy advisory positions, including Department of Youth Affairs, TEFTA, and Directorate of Science and Technology. He has traveled to more than 40 countries across the world to deliver his specialized policy masterclasses with young leaders, civil society leaders, and government officials. Mr. Durrani, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. Esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, honorable speakers, and dear participants, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning to you here in Islamabad. It is my utmost pleasure and honor to moderate today's crucial and critical discussion on empowering digital Pakistan. As you all know, that Pakistan is at a critical juncture, standing at the crossroads of immense potential and a lot of challenges as well. And the vision of digital Pakistan is important for Pakistan to prosper and progress in a lot of different areas. The question of digital Pakistan, or what we call the digital development, is critical for all sectors of economy, whether it's agriculture, whether it's IT, health, education, or industrial development. A new UNDP survey suggests that Pakistan stands in the moderate category on the Digital Development Index, and almost half of the country is categorized as a low development category on the Digital Development Index. And women, of course, play a very important role in Pakistan's digital development and what we call the digital inclusivity. So today's panel discussion will be more focused on the strategies on how we can achieve the vision of digital Pakistan. We are joined by distinguished panelists who play a very important role in achieving the vision of a digital Pakistan. They are actually the main stakeholders in this vision. So I'll start off by introducing our first speaker, Ms. Aisha Humaira Chaudhry. She is the Secretary of the Ministry of IT and Telecom. Ms. Aisha Humaira Chaudhry is a career civil servant from the Secretariat Group. During her 30 years of service, Ms. Aisha Humaira Chaudhry has worked on various key positions in the federal government, including Economic Counselor, Pakistan Mission to the World Trade Organization. She has been dealing with international trade matters as well as bilateral trade with the United States, European Union, Central Asian region, Africa, and Middle East. While working as Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, she played an instrumental role in implementation of e-commerce policy of Pakistan and successfully negotiated Pakistani sellers' access to Amazon marketplaces. She's a graduate of Master of International Negotiations and Policymaking from a Graduate Institute of Geneva. And she holds a MSc Development Management from London School of Economics. She'll be joining us online today. Ms. Aisha, the floor is yours. Ms. Aisha, can you hear us? Can you please unmute yourself? Ms. Aisha, can you please unmute yourself? Can you see if the settings allow, can you unmute her from here, from the settings? Mm-hmm. Well, while we figure out the modalities, I think we should continue with our next speaker. And probably Ms. Aisha can join us later in the discussion. I'm joined by Dr. Babar Majid Bhatti. He's the Chief Executive Officer of NITB. He's a highly accomplished executive leader with strong business acumen and a passion for digital transformation. With over 24 years of experience in senior management across utilities, government, and consulting, he has managed portfolios worth $8 billion. Mr. Babar excels in strategic risk management, ICT governance, and digital transformation. With a PhD in cybersecurity and strategic risk management from University of South Australia, he is a certified project management professional with expertise in IT, service management, and emerging technologies. As the CEO of the National Information Technology Board, he accelerates digital transformation, fosters business growth, and aligns with national objectives. Babar Saab, the floor is all yours.
Thank you.
Yeah, please.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm generally more comfortable standing. So thank you very much for arranging this very right topic. And I think IRS and COPARE has done an excellent job by putting the right people, in one room, and now the ideas will float. So the topic is very pertinent. So first of all, let's discuss why. Why digitalization? Why are we talking about digital Pakistan? So let's start with 14th August 1947, independence. We just celebrated independence a few days back. So the concept of independence is extremely important, and that is why we exist. Then that independence was more about creation of a geographically, independent country. But then the phenomena changed, and then we entered into economic independence era. Then we saw oil economies, we saw oil-based wars, we saw lots of things. And then we further moved, and then we talked about manufacturing, we talked about industrialization. And lately now, if you see, so we're talking about digitalization. So please look at digitalization from a much bigger perspective and correlate it with the digital independence as well. We need to see why and how it makes a difference. Let's look at the example. If you look at the fastest emerging economies in the world, so there's a very strong correlation between the pace of their development and the pace of their digitalization. So this correlation suggests that digitalization is an extremely important factor in the independence that we're talking about. Then let me give you another example. A few years back, we saw COVID, right? So when COVID came, every country, every community took certain measures to safeguard their people. We did here in Pakistan as well. I was in Australia those days, living in Adelaide. And I can tell you, my children didn't go to school for only 1.5 months. That's it. Later, they did go to school. So while the world was there, grappling with the COVID aftermath, how did they manage that? I'll tell you what they did. So what they did was, it was, I think, somewhere in late December 2019 when we heard COVID started and, isolation. But if you see, several countries in the world, including the US, including the UK, so you were able to travel, right? Yes, with masks, but you were able to travel till, I think, September, October 2020. But what we did there in Australia was that on 23rd of February 2020, just in a couple of months, the Australian government decided all of a sudden travel ban. Now, it was a hard decision to make. They were criticized a lot. The government was criticized. But what we need to learn from here is that, first of all, they were able to take an agile decision on the basis of the AI-based models, the simulations, the digitalization that they had, the data was available, and they ran the simulation scenarios and they saw there's no way to get rid of it other than to isolate. Now, it's not only the result of the simulation, it is also about overnight policy making, decision making, how the government works. So everything integrated. And that is why they were able to take an agile decision and close the borders. Aftermath of digitalization. So this is why. So I'm still answering why digitalization. So this suggests we need to do that, right? Okay. So my daughter, my family lives in Adelaide. So my daughter was visiting me a few months back, and several of my friends met her as well. She came for a couple of months, and while working in the government in Pakistan, you don't have time to take out your family to park or somewhere. So what I did was I asked my daughter, I said, would you like to accompany me to the meetings? She said, yes, I am. Okay. So I actually took her to meetings in Supreme Court and, Cabinet Division and Parliament and Ministry of Finance, everywhere. I just introduced her and took her to the meeting. I said, she's my daughter and she would like to join. Now, in a couple of months, she stayed here for 2 months. She got a good idea of how, where we are as compared to Australia and, how we work. So when she was leaving, she asked me a question. She said, Daddy, what is one thing, if you can do, you will, to improve the government of Pakistan and the digitalization? I said, good question. So I said, I thought about it, and then I said, one thing. Okay, enforcement, law enforcement. She said, well answered. Why are you not doing it? I said, look, I mean, it's not my job. I'm the CEO of NITV. I mean, what can I do? He said, no, I mean, I'm not asking you to be a policeman and enforce. In your capacity, when you are the CEO, so you are owner of the digitalization of the country, right? So why are you not doing it? I didn't have an answer. So, I mean, but the thing is, the answer is complex for a child, but we know. So let's understand that part first. Now, the next thing I want to discuss is when we say digitalization, because it's a buzzword, we actually need to break it down to understand, to have a common understanding. So what do we mean by digitalization? So for the sake of this forum, let's divide it into the 3 parts that we often talk about. The first part, when we say digitalization, is the digital society. So when we say digital society, it means digital services for everyone, right? For connectivity. For example, not only limited to your online banking or you can pay the bill online, but more than that, integrated services. More than that, the bill is digitalized, fine. But what if there's a problem in the bill? I mean, you got $100,000, God forbid, the electricity bill, and you were expecting 50,000. Can you solve it online today? No. So when we say digitalization, digital society, we're talking about a complete digitalization of the citizen services. So this is the first part. The second part is digital economy. So when we say digital economy, what we mean by this is, of course, cashless economy. So we all know the taxes are too much, right? You're paying a lot of taxes. I'm paying a lot of taxes in government. In my office, I'm the highest taxpayer. In my ministry as well, I think. So, but the thing is, why? Because only a small fraction of Pakistanis are paying taxes. That's why you're paying a lot of taxes. You should complain about it. Why are we paying so much? But on the other side, you should also play a role in expanding the tax net. If everyone pays the tax amount will certainly come down for individuals. Now, the question is, what role can you play? Right? Answer is digitalization, cashless economy. We can do that. I mean, within this hall, I think we can do that. Then the third thing, civil society, digital governance, and digital society, digital economy, and the third part is the digital governance. So when we say digitalization in the country, a digital Pakistan, so as government, we need to digitalize ourselves as well. So these are the three parts when we talk about the digitalization we do. Okay, now where do we stand? Where are we? On the digitalization index, I think we already know the numbers. There's a long way to go. But the positive side of it is it's been more than a year now since I've been here in Pakistan. So what I can see is I can tell you the direction is right. We meet different people, we meet at different forums, we meet the highest leadership of the country, right from the Prime Minister, we meet different departments who are doing it. So I can clearly see the direction is very right. I mean, we are talking about digitalization, we're making visions, strategies, roadmaps. And in the past 1 year, I have seen several projects which have started as well. For example, one of the projects which have started at Ministry of IT is DEEP, Digital Economy Enhancement Project, funded by World Bank. Excellent project. So, I mean, the direction is very right. But on the other side, where we stand today, yes, there's a lot of effort to make. So the need is we all spend concerted efforts and get it done. How is a long debate. Then another example I can tell you is, so we're working with different stakeholders right within Islamabad, and we are trying to conceive something called Digital Islamabad. Islamabad is a model digital city in Pakistan. Excellent initiative. You know, from a citizen's perspective, from an economic perspective, from a government perspective, integrated services across the departments, CDS services versus health services, ambulance, e-ambulance. So, I mean, very right services. So I can again vouch the direction is very right. But now, how do we achieve it? One of the most important ingredients, I will only talk about this, is actually the people. And this is the challenge that we are facing actually, even at NITB, even in the government. And I've often talked about this. I mean, we see that, you know, a gap, you know, we see that so many IT graduates are there. And I have witnessed the universities here in Pakistan, especially in Islamabad, I've seen they're offering excellent programs. They're talking about the pertinent issues as well. But on the other side, I haven't walked into a single office where they're not looking for people. So on one side, we have so many graduates looking for jobs. On the other side, I haven't walked into a single office who is not looking into good resources. Even whenever I talk to other CEOs, chairman, and you know, they always talk about, I need a good resource in cybersecurity. I need a good resource in AI. So could you please refer someone? I tell them the same. I'm looking for the same people as well. So this is a gap. Now, how do we fix it? So first of all, the quality of graduates that is coming out, I'm happy with that. The reason is, again, I've spent more time abroad last two and a half decades. I have employed Pakistani people like many other nations without ever discriminating in different types of different kinds and nature and scale of the projects. And I have always been happy. I've never been embarrassed by Pakistanis. Oh, one problem is consistent, although, like, I mean, they deliver at the last moment just before the deadline, you know, yes, it's coming. So almost give me a heart attack. But otherwise, the quality, the learning, I'm happy with that. So, but when we talk about transforming Pakistan, why are we not finding people? Are they all going abroad? Do we have a brain drain? Or are we not sufficient in numbers? So there's something mismatch between demand and supply. But then the question is, okay, what is the supply? And what is the demand? Now, this question, I mean, in terms of demand, I think we're working on this question. As you know, on different forums, I've asked this question and I can see, but I haven't got the answer yet. But I have got a question in return once when I asked this question, what is the demand that we have in IT industry, in the digitalization? And they said, excuse me, who in this world has figured it out as quantitative number? Any country, have they ever done it? My answer is yes. Example, Australia. So if you look at the immigration portal of Australia, skills-based immigration, you will see precisely the number of visas in a specific skill, for example, ICT business analyst, 2,928 this year. What does this mean? It means they precisely know the demand, they precisely know the supply, they precisely know the gap, and they have a strategy how to fill that gap. So, some clear, simple answers. Just to conclude this, I will say we need to look at some the critical success factors when we talk about digital Pakistan, when we want to be among the top digitized economies in the world. Simple critical success factors which are no-brainer. The first one is the vision and direction. We talked about it. I think this is perfect. Fine. What we need. The second is the momentum, the speed with which we do. So we have taken up initiatives, but I can clearly see that we need to drive it fast. And one challenge that we see is the overlapping initiatives, different departments doing almost similar things. Everyone is making data center, everyone is making, so we need to do something about that. Then the next one is continuity. So if I come to Pakistan as an investor, I will only invest if I see continuity in the projects. So historically, we have not done well in the continuity, but we need to improve that. So this is, I think, good. And the last thing is the growth mindset. And the growth mindset is where we need to, we can't be static about this initiative. I did it, and for the next 10 years, we just talk about it. No. I mean, we need to have a growth mindset, because when we talk about digitalization, the technology moves fast, it evolves. The name of this challenge is we're dealing with emerging technologies. And as they emerge, the challenges, the scenarios, use cases change. So with all this, I'm very optimistic, and thank you for listening to me. And I'm very optimistic that in Pakistan, we're heading the right direction. Let's all work together and let's make it a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Babur Saab, for your kind remarks. Before I proceed to our next speaker, I'd kindly request our worthy speakers that if they can conclude their sessions in 10-minute slots, so we can also have some time left for the Q&A sessions. I'm sure our audience have a lot of questions in their minds. So next speaker is Dr. Haider Abbas. He's the Director General of the National Cyber Emergency Response Team, which we call the CERT, of Government of Pakistan. He's a cybersecurity professional, researcher, and industry consultant who took professional trainings and certifications from MIT, US, Stockholm University, Sweden, IBM, and EC Council. Dr. Abbas has received many awards from national and international organizations in recognition of his work. Dr. Abbas, I have a question that how important is cybersecurity to Pakistan's digital development, and how CERT is playing its role in Pakistan's digital transformation?
Okay, thank you so very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, the digitalization of Pakistan, in terms of, we could see that partially some of the organization has digitized their environment, some of the organization is underway, and some of the initiatives with many organizations to digitalize their economy and digitalize their work processes. What we did, we on the platform of NDISP, we performed a kind of gap analysis for the government organizations and private organizations in Pakistan in terms of cybersecurity. And we figured out that the security by design aspect, with many of the initiatives that Pakistan took, even at the government level, even at the organizational level, it was missing the main aspect of, you could say, security by design. And we could see that, if you will continue. So I have a few slides for you to show you what are the initiatives we are doing and what is the current situation in the world now. The cyber insecurity with the advent of digitalization in various sectors, we could see that the critical infrastructure of any country is heavily being dependent on the cyber world now. Even your organizational infrastructure, also you could say, even as your individual having the small gadgets in your hand that is taking care of all of your data and all of digital assets for you as the owner and for someone else who has the access to these all digital assets that you have, and the information you are carrying is actually exposed to many kind of threat actors that can actually manipulate this data for various purposes. And the advent of artificial intelligence, with the advent of adversarial AI, the weaponization of AI, we could see that this has actually double, triple, or maybe 100 times more kind of fascinating mechanisms that can actually sabotage this whole environment. And we could see that the world actually has prepared themselves for the cyber war, and it has officially or unofficially, it has been declared as the fifth domain of war. It's the cyber war, the misinformation, the disinformation, and the example I mentioned, any node that you're carrying with you, any node that your organization has, could be used to launch an attack to any of the state-sponsored attack, or maybe some of the organization-sponsored attack, or maybe for the sake of fun for some of the hacker, or you can say the bug bounty person, you can say. And the word you can see in this slide, the different organizations, different nations actually has prepared themselves for the cyber war. And the difference between the traditional war and the cyber war is your country is always in the war state. When you say this fifth domain of war, you are every country is always in the war of domain. Pakistan's standing in terms of cyber security, there are many organizations I must appreciate in Pakistan are doing very good. And the ranking released by ITU is Pakistan Standard 79. And you could say the cybersecurity aspects are very resource hungry. It requires a lot of resources that actually to implement and comply the cybersecurity mechanism within your organization and even at the country level. And we have seen that this was released actually in 2020, and we as a national cert and in collaboration of Ministry of IT, even the NITV has provided some of the data, and we will see that hopefully, inshallah, this ranking will improve when it will be released in 2024. Next slide. Next. So our main objective as a national cert, as the moderator has asked, is to implement this document that we call the National Cybersecurity Policy that was released in 2021. On the basis of that, we have the various objectives defined in this specific document. We build a kind of strategy for our organization that we call the National CERT, and it was the National CERT rules that was approved by the cabinet in 2023, and the National CERT was formed and has been functioning since March 2024. This is the main mandate of National CERT. We are in the process of deploying the National Cybersecurity Policy in terms of compliance, in terms of auditing, and in terms of preparing our organizations for the cybersecurity. We started various initiatives, and the main mandate is the risk governance and risk and compliance, capacity building of the people, starting from the school-going children, from the elderly people, and for all of the organizations that we have in Pakistan. Then the technological development, the indigenous development, we are working on that to develop our own SIEM solutions, own cybersecurity mechanisms, own cybersecurity tools that can help us to actually control our development process, and also data that we have that could be used for the national digital economy. We are also in the process of signing various kind of international MOUs and international relations for you can say the threat sharing models with different countries around the world also. There will be a three-tier approach that we are going to follow, that soon you will see that the national CERT will be notifying the different sectoral CERT at different sectors level, where we can see that the PTA, the different federal ministers, the provincial government, and all the organizations will have this kind of infrastructure, where the national CERT will have the Security Operations Center deployed at their own premises. Then all the sector regulators will be having all the data from their organizational CERTs, that organizational Security Operations Center that can govern their data. This data will be shared with the sectoral CERT and at the national CERT, and the national CERT, we will be generating some kind of advisories and managing the threats, and you can say the vulnerabilities within the nation. So this will be the whole ecosystem if this is going to be deployed, inshallah, with the passage of time, hopefully in a year's time. If it is deployed fully, then we will say that in terms of cybersecurity, we will have a comprehensive understanding and comprehensive management of cybersecurity auditing and all the infrastructure that we have in Pakistan. During this 1.5 year, actually, we performed various auditing, you can say the gap analysis of different organizations, and we figured out that many organizations in Pakistan are actually lacking the various basic kind of infrastructure in terms of cybersecurity that we have, at least in the compliance mechanism. You could say in the auditing stuff, they do not have the cybersecurity programs, the use of pirated software, the use of, you could say, different kind, even they do not have the basic cybersecurity policies, right? And the basic cybersecurity mechanism deployed within their organization. While on the other hand, there are many organizations that were doing very good, like the PTA, the NADRA, and some of the organizations, the State Bank of Pakistan also are doing very good. So we are going to develop a kind of streamlined compliance process with all the guidelines for all the organizations that they can, as Dr. Majid has also mentioned, for the enforcement and compliance, we will be providing the guidelines to all the organizations that they should follow. And after some time, the National CERT will be governing the auditing process. That will be a continuous process for all of the organizations in Pakistan, that it will be mandatory for all organizations to come up with the auditing, cybersecurity auditing, and come up with the report that what was the threats they have actually figured out during some specific time, and how they actually address these kind of threats. We also launched a Cyber Patriot program. That is actually, if you have find out any of the organizations, some of the loopholes in any of the organization infrastructure that you have find out, you can report this to us. We will verify this, and we will tell this specific organization that this is the kind of loophole that is in your organization's critical infrastructure, and we will provide kind of appreciation certificate to that specific entity that will tell us about this. This is not a bug bounty, because there's some kind of challenges in deploying bug bounty, but it's a Cyber Patriot program. We also deployed various internship programs for the students, for the master students, and even we are in the plan of deploying the cyber campus at our facility, that we will actually sign a kind of MOU with different top universities in Pakistan and different top-notch security organizations like the Fortinet, the Kaspersky, and all the organizations, and we will launch a kind of comprehensive training and skill set development program for the organization. And one thing that I would also like to mention, we also already launched various Awareness Brings Change, with the title of Awareness Brings Change program for different organizations, from different government sectors and private organizations also, for the school-going children, for the youngsters, the use of secure use of multimedia, secure use of social media, deepfakes awareness. You can say all the emerging threats that are actually appearing with the passage of time, and how you can deal with that. CyberWatch is the program that if any of the organization requires some kind of technical understanding on some topic, we can arrange that specific webinar for them. Also, if we feel if there is some kind of need in Pakistan to tell people that what is going on and what needs to be done, for example, if some kind of attack at some kind of bank, or we can arrange this webinar for the employees of that bank specifically. Even at the national level, is some kind of threat that is emerging with the passage of time, we have launched this CyberWatch series also, and it is successfully running also. There are many other initiatives also. You can see. We are heavily managing the incident response and incidents management system in Pakistan also. So this is formally been deployed actually. You can see that the compromised resources since January 2024, you could see the private, or 90% of the private organizations were compromised, and you can see the public sector, 70% of the public sector organizations were compromised in Pakistan, and we have actually figured out that what also you can see the compromised resources sector-wise, how the banks, the government sector, the provincial certs, the provincial organization, what is the distribution of this incident management that we were doing actually. As I mentioned, we are in the process of signing the collaborative joint, I believe on collective wisdom, right? So we are in the process of signing MOUs with different top organizations in Pakistan to come join hands with us, and let's make a kind of collaborative effort in terms of capacity building, in terms of technological development, in terms of research and development also. We spent trillions of money on the research, right? While we cannot even solve very little meager problems of Pakistan. The research direction is this side and the problems are on this side, right? So we are in the process that we can actually gather problems in the area of cybersecurity from various organizations. We can sign MOUs with the universities, and we collaboratively, we can work together to solve the problems of Pakistan in the area of cybersecurity. So I know that I'm running out of time, but I'll be quick. Right. So we are in the process of collaborating with different organizations also, you can say, and this is the program that is very close to my heart. During my academic career at NUST, I figured out, as I mentioned, that the research should be for the sake of research, should not be for the sake of research. The research should be for the Pakistan, right? We figured out that we published thousands of papers. Everyone got promoted, every faculty member, every best researcher, right? But we were not able to solve very little problems that we have in the area of cybersecurity, even in the other areas of, you can say, the developing economy of Pakistan. So for this cyber campus, NSERC Cyber Campus program, as I mentioned, we are going to take all top-notch companies on board. We are going to sign MOUs with all the top-notch universities in Pakistan, right? And the government organization, and collaboratively, we will be developing the indigenous tools, techniques, and skill set that can help Pakistan to actually be self-sufficient in the area of cybersecurity. And few programs at very pilot level we already launched. We actually invited 50+ ministries. We invited the best students from different universities, and myself and my team actually taught them what should be the compliance mechanism of cybersecurity in different organizations. They were on a view that we do not have the resources, the government sector, how we deploy and how we comply. We actually linked those students to that ministries. We gave them 2 or 3 students to all ministries, and we gave them the task that they should have 2 months and they should comply the cybersecurity mechanism in their organization, in their ministries. And actually it was done successfully. Then we actually taught them the auditing process and evaluation and assessment of cybersecurity in their organizations. Then again, we gave them the students. So this is a very pilot level. This has been done already, and we are in the process of, inshallah, developing this ecosystem in Pakistan. So the future roadmap at the government level, at the organizational level, and at the individual level, we have made plans, we have prepared the guidelines, we are in the process of developing the standards, you can say developing the guidelines, developing the auditing mechanisms for all three levels, at the government level, at the organizational level, and at the individual level. So this is all from my side, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haider Abbas, for your enlightening presentation. I'd like to move on to our next distinguished panelist, Mr. Khurram Rahat. He's the Vice Chairman of Pakistan Software House Association, PASHA. He has over 35 years of diversified experience encompassing consulting, innovation, analytics, business development, sales, project management, process development, improvement, and senior management roles. He's currently director at Botnostics Solutions and CEO and founder of Credible Consulting Group and Vice Chairman, PASHA. He has been regional head of Teradata for Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and Sri Lanka, regional head of North-based solutions for MENA and emerging markets, country director of Uniphonic Pakistan, and head of BizMine and business development for Telenor Pakistan. Khurram Saab, what is PASHA's vision for digital Pakistan and how it is contributing to achieve our nation's digital development goals, please?
Assalamu alaikum. So thank you for the kind introduction. I'll give you that perspective about PASHA, which would relate to the basic theme, which is empowering digital Pakistan. So we at PASHA would look at any digitalization effort, whether it is at the organization level, and we talk about country, has to have certain basic elements or certain foundations on which any digital journey of any country can be built on. First and foremost is having any digitalization effort will fall short if it is not supported by a very sturdy and robust network system. So we talk about internet, we talk about connectivity. So if any digitalization effort has to bear fruit, it has to be built. We have to have an information highway, which is supported by some very strong and robust network and sustainability. And in recent times, you have seen that a disruption in terms of the network or in terms of internet has had a negative impact, not only the operations of the organizations within the country, but also impacts our efforts to be a global player as far as the export market is concerned, and also does have an impact on the reputation of the country, something which was elaborated by the Honorable Minister for Planning also. So first and foremost is having a very sturdy network, and I understand, and Dr. Haider was talking about cybersecurity. That becomes again a very important aspect, because once you have a highway, information highway, then to make sure that you are providing sustained availability of connectivity, you have to protect through proper cyber security, not only the policies, but implementing cybersecurity related whatever defensive mechanism, but also back it up with what you call policy making and legislation, which will ensure that any such occurrences, if they are occurring, can be dealt with and dealt with very effectively. The third very important thing, and that's very close to my heart, is the fact that a lot of time, and this is not just limited to Pakistan, but if we look at internationally, a lot of time digitalization is seen as a journey where you can have some front end apps, whether it is mobile app or what you call a website availability, etc. You make a web page, you are present on social media, etc. But the real value of any digitalization or effort is that you are able to use the data which is generated as part of any digitalization effort and use it very effectively to better understand the customers. Because when you talk about digital journey, you also are in a way, implying that the person-to-person physical interaction gets greatly reduced. And especially when you're looking at digital journey, which involves reaching out to people, customers across the globe, then it's very important to that the use of data to develop insights to better understand the customers, their needs, and be able to support the overall, be able to provide the services at the right time through the right channel. That has to be supported by data. The good thing is, if we talk about Pakistan, the journey in that regard at the government level started almost 25 years ago when NADRA was established. NADRA was established with the basic principle of not only facilitating, which has been done in a lot of cases, where today you can go and get your services if you are a verified citizen in NADRA's database, whether you want a passport, you wanted a driving license, or any other services, you are now greatly facilitated. People of my era or my age group who were pre-NADRA can very well vouch for the fact how difficult it was even to get a passport, where you had to have, a police report and someone else verifying, and only then you could go and submit your application. Now it's become very simple. If you have your national ID card, you can walk on into the passport office and get processed. So the government started that, but the other very important aspect, which was the underlying fact behind or underlying basis of establishing NADRA, was to be able to use that data, which is a gold mine, for planning purposes at the government level, not only at the government level, but also facilitating the private sector through use of that data. Unfortunately, successive governments have failed to really capitalize on that wealth of data which is there. It is being used for monitoring purposes and facilitation, but for planning purposes, it has not been done. I wish the Honorable Minister, since he's the Minister for Planning, was here, but his department and the different government departments can really take advantage of the wealth of data that NADRA has, which they can take advantage of. So I think we have, if I look at the landscape of Pakistan, we have made some very good strides. So we have a vibrant fintech, sector. We are making strides in edtech. We're making strides in health tech and e-commerce. But again, I would like to conclude my answer by saying it's very important that you are able to, for all these things to sustain, and for the digital journey of Pakistan to sustain and grow, it is very important to really have these foundations, present and present in a way where they are able to sustain this need in a effective manner. And utmost importance is the availability of sturdy, robust, and reliable networks. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Khurram Saab. I'd like to welcome our guest of honor, Ms. Gulmeena Bilal Ahmed, Chairperson, NAVTEC, to our conference today. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. Our next and last speaker is Mr. Amir Shehzad. He's the Director General, Wireless Licensing in Pakistan Telecommunication Authority. He has a rich experience of planning, deployment, and operationalization of various types of communication system, including radio communication, optic fiber, satellite, microwave spectrum management, and real-time encryption. In his current portfolio, he has successfully conducted NGMS spectrum auction in 2021 in both Pakistan, AGK, and GB. He's also leading a PTA team for launch of 5G services in Pakistan. He's a graduate of National University of Science and Technology and has specialization in real-time encryption system of radio networks from Turkey. Amir Saab, PTA is the backbone of Pakistan's digital infrastructure. How is it making Pakistan a digitally advanced country, and what is your vision for digital Pakistan? Please. Please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting PTA on this important session, especially which is focused on digitalization of Pakistan. And everyone looked towards PTA to provide a foundation, that telecom foundation, that highway on which all these services can run. So I will just tell you our role, how we are thinking to embrace the future challenges, what are our limitations under the Act, policy, rules, and how we are overcoming that, and to provide an environment, you can say enabling environment for IT services, which can lead to better digitalization of the country. This seminar, and then it could be overall used for the well-being of the citizen, better e-governance management, and overall improve the overall economic structure of Pakistan. So Pakistan Telecom Authority, basically, we are governed by the Telecommunication Act that was introduced in 1996. And under that, Pakistan Telecom Authority was established along with Frequency Allocation Board, NTC, and the Telecommunication PTAT. This is for establishment of funds. Now, how we regulate the industry? Act gives us the guidelines, and according to that, then telecom rules were formulated in 2000. And based on the Act, various policies are being issued by the government from time to time to embrace the latest technologies and how we can adopt that. And accordingly, PTA then make regulations and frameworks to implement those policies. Now, next. Basically, we act an interface between government stakeholder, consumers, and all the licensees which PTA issue to the various telecom organizations, then regulate telecom system and services according to those license conditions, because we cannot go and dictate to some operator to cross that license condition. Then we set quality of service benchmarks and the network rollout obligations, that how each operator has to extend its network, what quality of service standards he has to maintain, and how he would be regulated. And then there are different disputes between the licensees and other thing. And the one most important thing is that how we promote and modernize the telecom sector, seeing the international best practices, what technologies are being adapted, what are the device ecosystem, what are our international obligations. So seeing all that, we continuously upgrade our rules, regulations through the policy directives of the government. Next, please. So currently, I'll just give you an idea that there are about 2,104 licensees of Pakistan Telecom Authority, and that include the cellular mobile licenses that 4 main operators in Pakistan and 1 SCO in AJK and GB. Then we have long distance and international 34 licenses. This include both Pakistan and AJK and GB. Then fixed local loop licenses, 297. The biggest one is the PTCL, followed by the many other well-known names like Neotel, Cybernet, Transworld. So different names are in the market. Then wireless local loop, we have 9 licenses, and this license would be expiring this year. And after that, that spectrum, we are thinking to utilize it for the 5G in the country. Then we have the infrastructure licenses that were introduced to reduce the cost of cellular services. So new licenses were introduced in 2008 so that independent infrastructure provider can be established by the companies. Similarly, telecom towers, again, we have issued the licenses in both Pakistan and AJK and GB. Then wireless HF, VHF, and amateur radio licensing. This is being done by PTA. So the different organization companies which they are using for the wireless services for security purpose, for any maritime or any other services. So specific frequencies are allocated to them, and we issue the licenses so that they should not interfere with the networks of each other. Then small licenses, we call them class value added services, that basically the internet service provider in the local areas, small service, having not much cost and not much obligations. And all this network for access, internet access, we have currently 7 submarine cables, which are connecting Pakistan to the international data centers. And 4 cables are in pipeline as well. So our existing traffic is around 60%, which is on the submarine cables. And still we have sufficient capacity we can undertake on the existing, and couple of the cables, they have completed their life and they will be gradually replaced with the new cables which are coming up. And along with this, the initiative local manufacturing of the smartphones, we have issued about 35 licenses, and currently smartphone manufacturing is also taking place in Pakistan. I'll just give you a comparison from 2017-18 to 2024, that telecom subscribers, they have increased from 154.4 million to 195.1 million. This is the latest data, and our tele density currently is around 80.5%. Similarly, our broadband subscribers that include both fixed and cellular, that stands around 58.7. And if we see the international indexing, the GSMA reports, we are almost following that, because there's still about 32 to 33% gap in international connectivity as well. So we are along with the world. Similarly, the total data usage in petabytes is 1,262. That was in 17-18, and it is now 932% increase, currently 13,021. And the revenue, that is in PKR billion, from 539 to 850. So this industry is contributing to the national exchequer about 850 billion PKR. So that is very most important thing which I want to bring over here is that environment to expand telecom infrastructure and this industry, it is not very conducive. Reason being, it is always very challenging when some operator gets a license, he want to establish optical fiber, he need permissions from right of way from various organizations. Similarly, want to establish new tower, he gets the permission, NOCs from various civic bodies. So from last couple of years, we are trying our best through SIFC forum and other related stakeholders that we should facilitate these things. And it should be, because if some person keeps on waiting for 6 months to 1 year just to establish an optical fiber network and then install it, so it becomes very challenging on his return on investment. So that's why very few people come from the local, they come into the invest in this business, and mostly we have all the foreign companies currently providing cellular services and they have invested into the network. So we always, as a regulator, we look towards government who processes recommendation for various policy recommendation to facilitate the investment, because it's a long-term investment. It is different from other sectors, especially in IT. You all are from IT, so you need very small infrastructure. If you have good internet connectivity, good access to the data centers, so you can always quickly deploy or start the business. But telecom, people are very reluctant to invest into this. Up till now, the total optical fiber which we have deployed is about 1,57,000. That is the optical fiber which is on proper record, and is not the cables which you see hanging around by the cable operators and other small providers. So we do not take into account. Otherwise, if we take all that and account, it is around 2 lakh kilometer currently. And over long haul, that is about 67,000 kilometer, and the metro networks about 90,000 kilometer optical fiber. No, this is the backbone for any future technology. We are lacking from the regional. India has more than 1.5 million. Similarly, we are making an effort to push our licensees that invest into optical fiber. Without that, we cannot embrace the latest technologies. So with the industry consultation, we have introduced that in future, our main operators, long distance and international operators, they are going to establish 1,500 kilometer with the next 6 year each operator, so that at least with 5 new long distance international operators and 9 which have been renewed, so we should increase it 21,000 kilometers through regulatory intervention. Otherwise, operators just see, and they see if there's a business case, they establish the network. Along this, USF is also working to reach to the unserved and underserved areas, so that footprint in those areas can be enhanced. But we always look towards the provincial government. Extensive engagement is there to depute the focal person to assist our operators so that they can extend their network as per the obligatory requirements. Next. So when I come to cellular network, currently 95% we have 4G network available in the country, and 3%, no, this we have done in 2 years back, 3 years back in 2021, when we have conducted 2 auctions. We have set new obligation that every operator would target 3% additional population. We're seeing the population density and the gap in the previous coverage. So how we can reduce that? So every operator should at least target 3% population. And when we come towards the number of counts of the tower site, approximately 445 new cell site is to be established by the each operator. So this is how we are looking that we extend our coverage and provide better connectivity. Next. In the current, as I have mentioned, a lot of challenges over this tele sector was deregulated in 2003. Deregulation policy came in 2003, and in 2004 this broadband policy came, and it's almost 20 years now. Later on, different policy directives, and especially in 2050 Pakistan telecom policy came, but still that need now review. So in terms of, we look forward that this is the time where we can have strategic framework for infrastructure development. We should have a spectrum roadmap. Then we should have cross-sectoral collaboration. Then timely adoption of latest technologies, including 5G, and review of our licensing regime, because for everything we have given different licenses. Now we are looking for unified licensing concept, so that we should be facilitating the industry that how they can further grow. For that, one of the most important thing, National Fiber Plan, we are already working on it with the different stakeholders, and Ministry of IT is taking the lead role in it, along with the PTA and other relevant agencies. Then improving the rural connectivity. So we are looking for community networks with the USF. And one important thing is that there is no PSDP funding for telecom industry. So industry is contributing about 850 million rupees, and government do not give anything to the industry from PSDP, and it is left that as it is deregulated market, so you should invest in infrastructure yourself, and they invest seeing the business plan and as per the license obligation. So it is always very challenging, especially in optical fiber networks, because it's long-term investment. So we'll look toward this thing that in national fiber plan, there should be a public-private partnership model so that we can move ahead and improve the fiberization in the country. Next. The recent initiatives, I'll just focus within the time, that 5G spectrum auction, this is in process. I just give you an idea that previously only 274 megahertz spectrum till to date in various auctions have been given to operators for cellular services. Now, for this 5G, we have making 562, that is 200 times more spectrum available. So interested bidders, they can get the spectrum and then they can ease the congestion, reduce the load on their networks. So spectrum should be available to them. Quality of service and network rollout obligation that we have included in all the latest licenses, and they are being followed now. National fiberization plan, as already mentioned, in process. Infrastructure, previously all operators was having their own infrastructure. We have pushed them that through a framework, you should have infrastructure sharing so that every operator can have better footprint. Then IoTs and short-range devices regulatory framework that we have issued last year, and about 20 new licenses. They have come up with different innovative ideas where how they can utilize the IoTs. Then Wi-Fi 6E, we are first in the region that we have introduced Wi-Fi 6E in the country. Then digital gender inclusion strategy, that is in the collaboration of various stakeholders. So we are working on it, that how we can empower the women, how we can provide the network facilities to them so that they can become also useful, especially in this digital era. Then satellite policy and rules that have, interestingly, we do not have any satellite policy in the country before this 6 months back. I think we have introduced this first time because all the operators who are providing satellite services in the country, so they were giving it on a prices that was not affordable to anyone. So we have introduced this satellite policy. Its rules have been formulated, and now we are introducing the licenses for small operators who want to give satellite services with the collaboration of international satellite service providers. Then establishment of National Telecom Security Operation, that is in PTA for the telecom operators. And recently on this 14th August, we have started the pilot project of national roaming without having additional load on the consumer. And the first one was selected as Makran Coastal Highway between Gwadar and Karachi. So because there was only one operator in that area, so with national roaming, so anyone having the SIM of any other operator, he would not be additionally charged, and he would be having access to their other networks if they are available in the area. So this we have introduced. So these are some of the initiatives, and rest I can take on any question later on what PTA is doing and how we are providing an environment to the IT industry, and this is what the government of Pakistan vision is, that facilitate this industry, facilitate especially the young entrepreneurs, that they can be a very good, you can say, that segment of the society, and they can bring a very important role in overall digital economy of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amir Shahzad, for your presentation. I'd like to know if we have Ms. Aisha Chaudhary on board. Yeah, okay, great. Ms. Aisha Humaira Chaudhary, she is the Secretary of Ministry of IT and Telecom. She'll be joining us virtually through Zoom link. Ms. Aisha, can you hear us?
Thank you very much for providing an opportunity to talk about some of the work that Ministry of IT is doing. I was listening to various participants talking about the challenges that the IT sector is facing and the importance of embracing technology for development. And PTA has just elaborated that the state of infrastructure and how important it is to ensure connectivity. So Ministry of IT works with all the players for ensuring that policy is in place. ROW, as he mentioned, is one of the area which is a big bottleneck in terms of attracting investment in the infrastructure. So Ministry of IT is working very closely with all the organizations such as National Highway Authority, Railways, and provincial governments and DHAs to ensure standardization of the ROW rules. In fact, this issue was raised in the SIFC, and Prime Minister has also taken keen interest in this, and Cabinet Secretary was given the task to have a meeting with all these stakeholders and standardize the rate. So as a result of that direction from the Prime Minister, NHA and the railways rates are already standardized, and some of the work is still outstanding, but it is very high on the agenda. Secondly, another very important area that PT highlighted was the availability of spectrum. So, if we look within the region, the kind of spectrum which is available is less than 300 in Pakistan. So auction of spectrum is extremely important, and that is, the challenge that ministry is again addressing. And we are having a dialogue with the telecom sector to make sure that auction, not just the telecom sector, but GSMA, to ensure that whatever practices and policies are adopted for auction are in line with the international best practices. So again, this is a very important area where it's extremely important that we are not left behind, and whatever the global practices and the regional practices are, we adopt those. So certain reforms are required in the telecom sector, the way auction is done, especially for the 5G committee has already been formed, and a consultant will be hired to look at the pricing issues and all the other reform aspects required to ensure that spectrum is successful. I would like to highlight the importance of doing, some of the initiatives linked with skill development, curriculum development, and upgradation of the curriculum. So reskilling, upskilling, these are extremely important because if we look at, the global best practices, currently degree is not that important. Now companies are looking at the skill set. If you look at the top 10 companies, they have stopped asking for master's, graduate, or PhD degrees. Now they only identify the skill sets which they require to hire HR. So this is the direction which we have to embrace. We are in touch with the Higher Education Commission. They started an associate degree because the industry demand was that 4 years is a very long period for a IT degree. So associate degree has already started. But the importance of introducing skills in the curriculum and providing maybe 1 year certificate or 2 year certificate, which is actually based on acquiring skill sets, is extremely important. So we are in contact with HEC to make changes in the curriculum and adopt this global approach towards skill enhancement. Similarly, there are certain new areas such as semiconductor, where we do not really have enough capabilities. So in collaboration with KSA and other friendly countries who require this type of expertise. We are doing trainings in NUST, GK, and other computer science universities to develop a cluster of semiconductor design services. We may not be able to get into manufacturing at this stage, but we can definitely be part of the design services value chain. So this is a new area. The ministry has started working in collaboration with some of the global partners and top educational institutes in Pakistan. And this besides skill development, infrastructure development, such as availability of spaces for IT companies, is also extremely important. So IT Park Islamabad was conceived with the help of Korean Exim Bank, with the view to provide these office spaces at reasonable prices. So this IT park will be available from next year. Recently, Prime Minister also visited and emphasized the importance of completing it earlier, so that 720 square feet space is made available to the IT industry. In Karachi, another IT park is at an advanced stage of designing, and by 2027 it will also become operational. So these are two very important enablers and supply side issues which the Ministry of IT is actively engaged with in collaboration with the industry. Another very important pillar is marketing and country branding. So PSEB, Pakistan Software Export Board, which has the mandate to provide this service to the industry, is very actively engaged with the industry. And recently, they did rebranding in Dublin, and then in Canada, and London Tech in Europe. So special branding campaigns were designed to promote our IT companies. And a global campaign is also being developed to project Pakistan as tech destination. And GITEX will be happening soon in the last quarter of this year. And then LEAP, which is another very important event to capture Middle East market. So as you know that North America is one of the leading IT export destination. That is again an important priority. And on 10th November, in collaboration with Pakistan's ambassador in USA and Silicon Valley, an event is being organized there to project the capabilities of IT companies in the Northern American market. So these are the three very important initiatives from the ministry. And besides these, we also engage with youth in collaboration with the Higher Education Commission to ensure that curriculum is standardized, and to achieve this objective, a standardized test was also carried out last year with the view to make sure that whoever gets a degree from Pakistan is internationally recognized. So that again is a very top agenda for the Prime Minister, because we have received a direction from PM office to ensure not just standardization of the curriculum, but also quality. So we are engaged with the premier institutes as well as HEC to ensure that whatever degree is given there is a standardized test before the issuance of the degree, so that the IT professional from Pakistan is recognized all over the world. So COL Accord is one important milestone which we have to achieve to ensure this recognition at the global level. And there are other accreditations which ministry is pursuing in collaboration with the relevant institutions. So these are some of the initiatives which I thought are very important, and I really wanted to share with you. So if there are any questions, I'll be available to answer those.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aisha, for your kind remarks. Now, I know we are short of time and the lunch is almost ready, but Ambassador Saab, with your permission and upholding the principles of democracy, I'd like to take a few questions. But I have a few suggestions. Please keep your questions short, to the point. Avoid making speeches so we can have maximum questions. And since the time is really short, so we'll only be taking 2 or 3 questions. So starting from this side, can you please say your name and organization, and also you can refer the question to relevant panelist.
Thank you. My name is Fawad Afridi. I am running a digital platform called Scholarships Corner, जिसका मकसद है दुनिया में जितनी भी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आती हैं उसका एक्सेस हो, नॉट सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के लिए बल्कि इंटरनेशनली भी, और ये टोटली फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है. अब रिसेंटली पाकिस्तान में जो एक इशू आया इंटरनेट के ज़रिए, इंटरनेट की वजह से इशू आया है, तो अब हमारा काम क्या होता है कि हम तो एक ऑनलाइन सेशंस वगैरह हर चीज़ फ्री कराते हैं. तो हम अब जब ऐसे शेवनिंग स्कॉलरशिप आई है तो हमने सेशंस कराने हैं, लोगों को समझाना है, और सारा फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट है, उनको 1 by 1 एलुमनाई से कनेक्ट करना है, लेकिन वो हो नहीं रहा कनेक्शन क्योंकि इंटरनेट का इशू आ रहा है. अब मेरा क्वेश्चन आमिर सर से है कि अब ये जो प्रॉब्लम है इसके लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है इसके सॉल्व करने के लिए, और सेकेंडली अगर ये जो प्रॉब्लम है ये अगर लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए हो जाए तो फिर जो हम जैसे आईटी फर्म्स है या बाकी जो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म्स है वो क्या करें, इसको कैसे सॉल्व करें. दूसरा सर मेरा ये है कि जैसे फ्रीलांसर ने, हम दुनिया में 3री नंबर है फ्रीलांसिंग में, और अब ये जो फाइवर ने हमें अनअवेलेबल कर दिया और ये पाकिस्तान का लॉस है, तो कैसे टैकल करें इस प्रॉब्लम को. थैंक यू.
Thank you very much. Good question, जी. And we understand कि जो आपके इस वक्त concerns हैं, how we are looking at it, because जैसे मैंने आपको पूरा एक process explain किया कि PTA जो licenses issue करता है तो उसमें certain terms and condition होती हैं और quality of service के benchmarks होते हैं. तो just before I joined the hall, तो I tested with the, आपके पास भी होगा ओखला के जरिए, I tested the software speed. तो एट द मोमेंट हमारी जो लाइसेंस की ऑब्लिगेशन है वो 4 Mbps है फॉर द ऑपरेटर्स, एंड आई वाज गेटिंग इन दिस हॉल ऑन वन ऑफ द ऑपरेटर्स नेटवर्क 63 MB. तो मैं जब लाइसेंस कंडीशन को या उसको देखता हूँ तो मेरा काम ये है कि इंश्योर करें कि जो उसकी ऑब्लिगेशंस हैं वो फुलफिल कर रहा हो. रेस्ट एज पर पॉलिसी डायरेक्शंस, देयर आर सर्टन सॉफ्टवेयर पैचेस हैं, अपग्रेड होते हैं, स्ट्रेस टेस्टिंग होती है. यू ऑल आर फ्रॉम IT, यू नो कि सर्टन प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं, एंड दैट इज नॉट लॉन्ग लास्टिंग या फॉर एवर नहीं होती. इंटायर वर्ल्ड में ऐसे होता है, प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं सॉफ्टवेयर्स में, उनके अपग्रेड्स में प्रॉब्लम आते हैं. तो रेस्ट एश्योर वी आर ऑन इट, वर्किंग डे एंड नाइट ओवर टीम्स along with the operators to resolve the issue as early as possible, and hopefully it would be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. Yeah.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. मेरा नाम तज़ीन अख्तर है. मैं उर्दू में बात इंग्लिश में कर सकता हूँ, ज़्यादा उर्दू समझने वाले हैं, और पाकिस्तान के जो मसाइल हैं वो उर्दू में ही ज़्यादा वो एक्सप्रेसिव हो सकते हैं. बहुत बड़े बड़े माहरीन इतनी ज़्यादा तादाद में स्टेज पे बैठे हैं, तो मेरे जहन में आता है कि कहाँ तक सुनोगे, कहाँ तक सुनाऊं, हज़ारों ही शिकवे हैं, क्या क्या बताऊं. ये बताइए, आप कहते हैं, मैं कह रहा हूँ जी, मैं कह रहा हूँ, ठीक है. देखें, जो इतने अच्छे काम हो रहे हैं तो ये सारे नौजवान बाहर क्यों भाग रहे हैं, और जापान को 7 लाख आईटी एक्सपर्ट्स की ज़रूरत है। उन 7 लाख में से वो आधे ऐसे भी लेने के लिए तैयार है जो कि बेसिक जानते हैं। क्या ये आप लोगों के इल्म में है? आज़रबाईजान को ज़रूरत है, हम उनको भिजवाने के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं? आप कहते हैं जी पासपोर्ट बड़ा आसान है, ज़रा पता करें 5 लाख पासपोर्ट पेंडिंग हैं और यहाँ पे काम करते हैं, बाहर तो वो जा नहीं सकते। यहाँ पे काम करते हैं नौजवान, तो आप फायरवॉल लगा के उनका इंटरनेट बंद कर देते हैं। ये साहब ने अभी बताया आपको, फायरवॉल पे आप 40 अरब लगा देते हैं लेकिन अपने नौजवानों पे नहीं लगाते। उस फायरवॉल की वजह से जो एक तरफ आप 15 दिन पहले आप में से ही कुछ अफसरान से मुतलका जो वजीर साहबा हैं वो $3 अरब की का क्रेडिट ले रही थी कि हमारी आईटी एक्सपोर्ट्स हैं $3 अरब की, उनमें से आधी कम हो गई हैं ये जो पिछले दिनों से फायरवॉल चल रहा है। ये बताएं इतने अच्छे काम हो रहे हैं तो टेलीनार क्यों भागा यहाँ से? वारिद ने बोरिया बिस्तर क्यों लपेटा? 5G में अब तक आप जीरो हैं। आप कहते हैं इन प्रोसेस, इन प्रोसेस ये एक ऐसे इस्तेलाह है जी, इन प्रोसेस है। अभी तक आप पीछे
सर
दुनिया में
क्वेश्चन
हो
पे आ
चुका
जाए
है।
प्लीज, क्वेश्चन पे आ जाए।
ये क्वेश्चन ही है मेरे।
जी जी, थैंक यू सो मच। आप बताएं।
थैंक यू वेरी मच जी, वेरी पर्टिनेंट क्वेश्चन। सबसे पहले मैं आपको वारिद, टेलीनार और 5G जो आपके पर्टिनेंट क्वेश्चंस थे उनके बारे में बता देता हूँ। एक दुनिया पूरी में टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री में मार्केट कंसोलिडेशन का फिनोमेना चल रहा है। 1 साल पहले टेलीनार की जो मैनेजमेंट थी हमारी उनसे मीटिंग हुई एंड फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट साइड आईटी मिनिस्ट्री के साथ भी हुई कि व्हाट आर योर प्लान्स और आप क्या सोच रहे हैं, व्हाई यू आर थिंकिंग टू लीव द पाकिस्तानी मार्केट। तो उनका व्यू ये था कि हमारा ये पूरे एशियन रीजन के अंदर हमारी स्ट्रेटजी है, वी आर मोर टारगेटिंग टुवर्ड द यूरोप। यहाँ कंपटीशन बहुत ज़्यादा है एंड पाकिस्तानी मार्केट हमारी अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के मुताबिक इट इज़ 3 प्लेयर मार्केट। हेंस वी हैव डिसाइडेड कि ना सिर्फ पाकिस्तान बल्कि अगर आप इनको एनालिसिस आप इनका डाटा देख लें तो पूरे एशियन रीजन को टेलीनार ने एग्जिट कर दिए हुए एंड पाकिस्तान में उनका ये डिसीजन उनकी प्योर अपने बिजनेस स्ट्रेटजी थी। इट हैज़ नथिंग टू डू कि हमारी इन्वायरमेंट कंड्यूसिव नहीं थी या हमने उनके कोई उनके लिए टफ ऑब्लिगेशंस थी। सो दैट इज़ वन। सिमिलरली जब वारिद का मर्जर हुआ तो 2016 में जैज मोबिलिंक और वारिद का मर्जर हुआ तो उस वक्त वारिद वाज द स्मॉलेस्ट ऑपरेटर विद 13 मिलियन उसके टोटल सब्सक्राइबर थे। दे वर ट्राइंग टू compete with the market, but जो दूसरे बड़े पार्टनर्स थे उनकी इन्वेस्टमेंट, उनकी नेटवर्क के ऊपर इन्वेस्टमेंट, उनकी स्पेक्ट्रम के ऊपर इन्वेस्टमेंट, आप 2014 का ऑक्शन देखिए, 16 में देखिए, 17 में, बाकी सारे ऑपरेटर्स दे वर एक्वायरिंग मोर स्पेक्ट्रम एंड दे वर ट्राइंग टू प्रोवाइड बेटर सर्विसेज। सो उनका उस वक्त ये डिसीजन था कि हम जितनी इन्वेस्टमेंट करके, अगेन जैसे मैंने कहा कि 5 से 4 और 4, सो हमारी मार्केट में इट इज कंसिडरेशन और ये इंटरनेशनल फिनोमेना, पूरी दुनिया में बहुत सारे मर्जर्स टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री में, आईटी आपके हॉरिजॉन्टली बहुत ग्रो कर रही है, टेलीकॉम आपस में वो देखते हैं कि कंपटीशन बढ़ रहा है, नेटवर्क की कॉस्ट है, तो वो मर्जर्स या इस पे चले जाते हैं एंड दिस इज नॉट अ न्यू फिनोमेना जिसके ऊपर ये काम हो रहा है एंड वी आर वेरी वेल अवेयर कि इसमें मार्केट में शायद और अच्छा कंपटीशन 3 प्लेयर्स के दरमियान आएगा। लास्ट थिंग वाज 5G। 5G के ऊपर जो टाइमलाइंस के ऊपर वी हैव एज अ रेगुलेटर और एज पर द पॉलिसी डायरेक्शंस ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान वी हैव सेट द डेडलाइन अप्रैल 2025। उसके लिए 8 to 10 months का प्रोसेस है बिकॉज वी गो फॉर एन इंटरनेशनल कंसल्टेंट हु हैव एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ 5G। उसके पास मुख्तलिफ कंट्री के 5G मॉडल्स हैं, उनकी डिवाइसेस कैसे प्रोलिफरेशन हो रही है, हमारी मार्केट में डिमांड क्या है, हमारी प्राइस बेंचमार्क्स क्या होने चाहिए, हमारे नेटवर्क रोल आउट के टारगेट्स क्या होने चाहिए, हमारा जो एग्जिस्टिंग एवरेज रेवेन्यू पर यूजर है वो क्या है, उसकी बेस के ऊपर उन्होंने प्राइस बेंचमार्क सेट करनी होती है। वी हैव इनिशिएटेड दिस प्रोसेस। 2 सितंबर को हमने EOI इनिशिएट की थी। वी हैव रिसीव्ड गुड रिस्पांस फ्रॉम द इंटरनेशनल कंसल्टेंट, टॉप ऑफ द लाइन जो वर्ल्ड के थे। वी हैव शॉर्ट लिस्टेड 10 कंसल्टेंट्स, उनको हमने अपनी RFP इशू कर दी हुई है। 2 सितंबर उसकी टेक्निकल और फाइनेंशियल बिड की ओपनिंग है और आफ्टर दैट 60 to 90 डेज हम उनको वर्किंग टाइम देंगे। बाय एंड दिसंबर वी हैव टारगेट के कंसल्टेंट अपनी रिकमेंडेशंस गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान को दे दें एंड अकॉर्डिंगली जो पॉलिसी डायरेक्शंस इट इज हेडेड बाय अ कमेटी एट द नेशनल लेवल अंडर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर, और उसमें कंसर्न सारे स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, being led by the Ministry of IT, based on the recommendations of the consultant and the input जो हमारी basically input of the industry होगी कि क्या roll out होना चाहिए, क्या price benchmark होना चाहिए, spectrum design क्या होना चाहिए, recommendations पर we look towards the policy direction from the government of Pakistan, and we expect to do this auction in March, April somewhere in current first quarter 20, by end of first quarter 2025. So this is how we are looking to expand the telecom industry and introduction of 5G in the country. Thank you.
Thank you. One last question, if you can take from this side.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Khurram Idris. I'm Chief Executive Officer of ICRIS Incorporated. I'd like to tackle the same question highlighted earlier from a different perspective. There was a term which was coined by Professor Schiller in the last few years called narrative economics, which kind of tells us that all the economic decisions, or most of the economic decisions that are taken in the world today, are based on the narratives or the stories that go around. So if we were to install a firewall, why couldn't we plan it properly? Because we have Pasha representative sitting here. They have companies that have certain deliverables and deadlines. So had we done it in a different manner where we were installing something and we had made it public, communicated in advance, and people knew about this and they could have told their clients that this was something which was happening. Because perception is the new reality. Right now, yes, the internet is back. Yes, things are working, but the perception is that it isn't. So the question is from anyone and everyone in the panel, how can we plan this better in the future so that, you know, perception does not actually become the reality? Reality is the reality. Thank you very much.
Anyone would like to answer? I think it comes down to PTA.
I think Honorable Secretary, Ministry of IT is also, if she would like to comment on something.
Yeah, I think if, is Madam Aisha here? Yeah. Ms. Aisha, can you, have you heard the question and can you answer it?
Okay, I will take it.
Ji, first of all, I'm not the secretary at the moment. So if you want to get, response from the secretary, you can maybe approach him. But I think PTA should be in a position to reply because we don't have the visibility in terms of ministry only provides the policy direction, but at the operational level, it's the PTA which is involved in close collaboration with the relevant agencies for the internet connectivity.
Okay, I would respond it. You are right that certain things they just on perception and certain things they are reality. As I have explained before, that when you conduct, you need a proper planning, and definitely the concerned operators, everyone was taken on the board, and this is how they have planned to test it. But how the network would take the load, how the licenses would be applied, what software upgrades. So concerned, we can have a separate session on that. The concerned teams, they can always discuss it, that how they have planned. Actually, the people who have planned it, the people who are implementing it, they are in a better picture to respond that how we are improving the mechanism as per the whatever is in the context of their license obligations. It has nothing gone beyond whatever, because these are international operators. They work under certain policies and frameworks and the license condition. So nothing which was taken beyond that, which was not unexpected, but definitely everything can be planned in a better way, and every activity we learn lesson from it, and we try not to repeat the mistake. And your concern is genuine, and that's how it should be, that mistakes are everywhere because you are IT people. Sometimes network gets complete down, even airline software gets down. So the important question is that how we address it, and this thing should not be repeated again in future. And you should have such environment, especially that environment where your IT industry should not affect. So this is all. I think we should take it ahead.
Thank you so much. And with that note, I'd like to conclude today's session. I know there are still some questions left in the hall, but we can leave that for discussion. We can discuss it over the lunch. You can ask. Our speakers are still here.
We listened to you for 2 hours. I came here, sir. I want to have an answer. मैं सिर्फ
Okay, just have a quick question. Quick question.
पहले मेरे भाई ने बात की आपकी perception. ये मेरे पास है, मेरा मोबाइल फोन है सर। ये मेरा मोबाइल फोन है मेरे पास, मैं भी आपको बता सकता हूँ, नथिंग इज वर्किंग। तो सर ये 25 करोड़ आबादी का मुल्क है, यहाँ पे पिछले साल भी 5 लाख से ज्यादा फ्रीलांसर्स जो हैं वो उनको अमेज़न से, फाइवर से निकाल दिया गया है। दूसरी बात सर, इग्नोरेंस और डिनाइबिलिटी है। इग्नोरेंस इस तरह है कि सर उस दिन हमारी आईटी की जो मिनिस्टर हैं वो कहती हैं कि वीपीएन की वजह से लोड आया हुआ है इंटरनेट पे। तो जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमें मिल रही है, काइंडली सर यू आर इन एक्सटेंशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट, ये आप हमारी आईटी की मिनिस्टर को भी बताएं कि उस तरह नहीं होता। दूसरी डिनाइबिलिटी ये है सर, राइट नाउ टू आवर फेसेस आप लोग हमें बता रहे हैं कि ये परसेप्शन है, सारी चीजें हो रही हैं। मैं इधर अपने मोबाइल पे आपको दिखा सकता हूँ, फेसबुक काम नहीं कर रहा। फेसबुक इज यूज्ड बाय फॉर ई कॉमर्स, आपको पता है। बाकी सोशल मीडिया काम नहीं कर रहा, इवन व्हाट्सएप इज नॉट वर्किंग। मैं अभी अपने चैनल में यहां से टिकर्स भेजना चाह रहा हूं, वो मैं नहीं कर पा रहा। तो सर डिनाइबिलिटी छोड़ें, हमें ऑनेस्टली बताएं सर, व्हाट इज द वे फॉरवर्ड।
ठीक, thank you. Point well taken. I think you have already reflected on those points. But I mean, if there's still left anything to say, but
देखिए, मैं इसको सादा ज़बान में बताता हूँ। इंटरनेट सिर्फ एक सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, ठीक है? कि फेसबुक आपने एक प्लेटफॉर्म, ओटीटी, व्हाट्सएप दूसरा होगा, टिकटॉक कोई और होगा, ठीक है? As a regulator, we need to ensure that internet should be available. आपका कंसर्न जेन्युइन है कि एक सोशल मीडिया ऐप शायद प्रॉपरली फंक्शन नहीं कर रही। नॉट, देखिए, एक ऐप, थाउजेंड्स मिलियंस ऑफ एप्स आर वर्किंग। आप इंटरनेट चेक कीजिए, आप स्पीड टेस्ट कीजिए, इंटरनेट इज वर्किंग। मैंने अभी बैठे बैठे आई वाज जस्ट गोइंग थ्रू अ जीएसएमए रिपोर्ट। आई डू नॉट कंटेस्ट यू, मैं आपको कंटेस्ट नहीं कर रहा, बट एक पर्टिकुलर ऐप में प्रॉब्लम है, उसकी रीजन क्या है, वजूहात क्या हैं, दैट कंसर्न पीपल आर वर्किंग ऑन इट। आई अश्योर यू दैट रेलेवेंट टीम्स, एक्सपर्ट्स, with the collaboration of various IT experts, they are working on it and issue would be resolved. ये नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट या रेगुलेटर या बाकी कंसर्न they are not working on it. Issues आते हैं, मैं इसलिए एक्सेप्ट किया कि इश्यूज होते हैं, लेकिन इश्यूज को हल करने के लिए सबको एक कोलैबोरेटिव अप्रोच रखनी पड़ती है। तो अदरवाइज इंटरनेट का कोई इशू नहीं है, वाईफाई बाकी सारी चीजें काम कर रही हैं। सर्टन एप्स के इशू आ रहे हैं, क्यों आ रहे हैं? कंसर्न पीपल आर लुकिंग एट इट, और वही एक्सपर्ट्स जब वे किसी कंक्लूसिव स्टेटमेंट पर पहुंचेंगे, इट मे टेक कपल ऑफ डेज, फ्यू डेज, अ वीक, उसको रिजॉल्व हो जाएगा। दिस आई कैन अश्योर यू। ऐसे नहीं कि बंद हो गई है चीज, ठीक है? तो ये इस पे, क्योंकि 1, 2, 3 एप्स का इशू है एंड दैट पीपल आर वर्किंग ऑन इट। ठीक, थैंक यू।
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is it from our end. I'd like the master of the ceremony to conclude this session by taking the proceedings forward. Thank you so much once again for your patience.
Thank you to our moderator, Mr. Ehsan Durrani, for expertly guiding us through this enriching discussion. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our esteemed panelists and our guests for the engaging question and answers session. Before we move on to the concluding session, I would like to request all the panelists and the speakers to take their seats. And I would like to invite Ms. Amna Munawar, President COPER, and our guest of honor for today, Ms. Gulmina Bilal, to join the President of Institute of Region Studies, Ambassador Johar Salim, on the stage. As we move on to the final session of the day, I would like to invite Ambassador Johar Salim to share his closing remarks, followed by Ms. Amna Munawar Rawan, President of COPER, to share her closing remarks for the day. Thank you.
Our guest of honor, Amna Rawan, esteemed panelists, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We had a brilliant session today, in fact, two sessions. In the first session, the Minister for Planning and Development and Special Initiatives, Ehsan Iqbal, gave a very elaborate overview of the perspective of the government of Pakistan as to how the government wants to bring Pakistan forward economically. And in that regard, digital Pakistan is of utmost importance. As I had mentioned, and many of the speakers, the experts in their respective areas, have very eloquently and very amply elaborated. Without moving forward on digital transformation, Pakistan would have no chance of catching up. We're already behind, not just the world in other regions, but even in our own region, in South Asia, which is in some ways one of the most less affluent regions of the world. We are far behind now today, economically, than countries such as India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, economically. And in terms of Human Development Index, HDI, we are far below all the countries of South Asia. We are now only comparable to Afghanistan. And that is very unfortunate. A country of 250 million people rather, fifth largest population in the world, country with a median age of 22, one of the youngest populations in the world, a country with the third largest IT-trained professionals, and many other immeasurable assets. But that country is lagging behind so much. And why is that? Because we have not been able to adapt to modern technologies. We have not been able to embark upon the journey of digital transformation at the speed that we should have been able to do. And that is why it is so very important that we focus on this particular area. क्योंकि अभी भी अगर हम इस पे नहीं करेंगे, ये जो डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जो है, ये हमें एक अपॉर्चुनिटी प्रोवाइड करता है टू लीपफ्रॉग جو باقی سٹیجز آف اکنامک ڈیولپمنٹ ہوتی ہیں, کیونکہ وہ ہم نے اس طرح سے میٹ نہیں کی جس طرح انڈسٹریلائزیشن ہے, اس کے بعد جو ہے سروسز سیکٹر کو اس طرح کی جو ورلڈ سٹینڈرڈس پہ لے کے آنے کا ہے, ایک انفارمیشن سوسائٹی کی طرف پروگریس کرنے کا ہے. لیکن ابھی ہمارے پاس یہ بہت ایک موقع ہے, اور یہ موقع ہمیں یہ جو ٹیکنالوجی ہے, ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن, جو انٹرنیٹ اور انفارمیشن ٹیکنالوجیز ہیں, اور اس کے علاوہ اب جو نئی ٹیکنالوجیز ہیں جس طرح آرٹیفیشل انٹیلیجنس ہے. اور دیکھیں ہمارے پاس 2 سپر پاورز ہیں آئی ٹی کی اس وقت ہمارے ایسٹ اور ویسٹ میں. ہمارے ایسٹ میں انڈیا, جو آئی ٹی میں ہم سب جانتے ہیں کہ اس وقت دنیا میں امریکہ کے بعد پرابلی ون آف دا موسٹ ڈیولپڈ کنٹریز ان آئی ٹی, جہاں پہ امریکہ کی بھی ساری جو کمپنیز ہیں انہوں نے بھی اپنی انویسٹمنٹس جو ہیں وہ بھی آؤٹ سورسنگ ساری انڈیا میں کر دی ہے. A great transformation has taken place there. $200 billion تک کہ ان کے صرف آئی ٹی اور اس سے ریلیٹڈ جو انڈسٹریز ہیں ان سے ان کی ایکسپورٹس ہیں. اور چائنا ہمارے نارتھ ویسٹ میں, چائنا جو ہے وہ پرابلی امریکہ کو کیچ اپ کر رہا ہے آئی ٹی میں. They have done an amazing job. تو ان دونوں کی جو ہمارے ساتھ ہی ہیں یہ سپر پاورز آئی ٹی کی جن کو میں کہوں گا, ان سے جو ٹیل ونڈز ہی جنریٹ ہوتی ہے, اگر ہم اسی کو کیچ کر لیں تو پاکستان جو ان سے جو ہمارے باقی مسائل ہیں اس سے اکنامک مسائل جو ہیں اس سے ہم نکل کے اکنامک گروتھ اور ڈیولپمنٹ کی طرف جا سکتے ہیں. لیکن اس کے لیے بہت ضروری ہے کہ جو اسکل ڈیولپمنٹ ہیں ایک طرف تو وہ, کیونکہ ہماری اتنی بڑی جو میں نے مینشن کی ہے 3rd لارجسٹ ان دا ورلڈ جو آئی ٹی کی ہے اسکلز کی, ہماری آئی ٹی فورس جو آپ اس کو لیبر فورس بھی کہہ سکتے ہیں, آئی ٹی ورکرز بھی کہہ سکتے ہیں, اس میں مسئلہ یہ ہے کہ میں باہر امبیسڈر رہا ہوں, میں نے دیکھا کہ وہاں پہ جو کمپنیز ہیں وہ کہتی ہیں کہ جی ہاں اسکلز ہیں ان کے پاس, لیکن وہ اسکلز نہیں ہیں, وہ پروگرامز نہیں جانتے جو ہمیں چاہیے جن کی ضرورت ہے. تو یہ امپورٹنٹ ہے کہ ہم اسکل ڈیولپمنٹ اس طرح کی کریں جس کی ضرورت ہے باہر, جس کی ڈیمانڈ ہے. اسی طرح جو ہمارے وہ نوجوان ہیں جو فری لانسرز کے طور پہ کام کر رہے ہیں ان کو اور موقع ہم فراہم کر سکیں. اس میں جو کچھ چیلنجز بھی جس کا ذکر بھی ہوا ان کو بھی ہم نے میٹ کرنا ہے. پھر ای گورننس جو ہے, ہمیں پوری ایک ٹرانسفارمیشن کی ضرورت ہے, جس سے میں نے پہلے بھی ذکر کیا کس طرح یو اے ای نے اور ملکوں نے اس کو بروئے کار لا کے ٹرانسفارم کر دیا اپنی گورننس کو. مطلب یہ ٹرائبل سوسائٹیز تھیں آج سے 40 50 60 سال پہلے, اور وہاں سے آج دیکھیں کہاں پہنچ گئے ہیں. میں نے مثال دی تھی کہ کس طرح ان کا جسٹس سسٹم, ان کا جو ہے نا لینڈ کے جو ریونیو سسٹمز ہیں, ان کے جو ڈفرینٹ گورنمنٹ کے ڈپارٹمنٹس ہیں, وہ سارے لٹرلی ای گورننس پہ آ گئے اور اتنا آسان کر دیا چیزوں کو. اور اسے صرف آسانیاں پیدا نہیں ہوتی, اسے آپ کی اکانومی اور تیزی سے آگے موو کرتی, گروتھ ہوتی ہے. پاکستان میں بھی آپ دیکھیں ہمیں جوڈیشری میں اس کی اتنی ضرورت ہے, ہمیں اس کی اپنے لینڈ جو ریکارڈز ہیں اس میں جو مسائل ہیں اس میں ضرورت ہے. کچھ برائٹ ایریاز ہیں جس طرح نادرا ہے, کچھ اور ایریاز ہیں جہاں پہ کام ہوا ہے بہت زیادہ. ابھی دیکھیں سکسیشن سرٹیفکیٹ ہے, اس کو بنانے کے لیے لوگ کورٹس میں جاتے تھے, ایک بہت ہی پیچیدہ اس کا مرحلہ تھا, باقی چیزوں کا بھی ذکر ہوا. اب نادرا اس کو بڑے آرام سے ایشو کر سکتا ہے کہ ان کے پاس سارا ڈیٹا ہے. تو اسی طرح جو آپ کے کامرس کا ہے, اگر ایکسپورٹس پروموٹ کرنی ہے, آپ کی جو ہے ملک کے اندر جو اگر سیف سٹیز بننے ہیں, کرمنل جسٹس سسٹم امپروو ہونا ہے, ہر شعبے میں اس کی ضرورت ہے. اور میرا خیال ہے اسی لیے بہت ہی ضروری ہے کہ حکومت اپنی تمام جو شعبے ہیں اس میں ای گورننس جو ہے, ہم نے فارن آفس میں بھی اس پہ بہت کام کیا, ہماری ایمبیسیز میں ہو رہا ہے, یہ بہت سی فیسلٹیز ہم اس کے تھرو دے رہے ہیں, لیکن ہر شعبے میں اس کی ضرورت ہے. اسی طرح پرائیویٹ سیکٹر میں جو کمپنیز کام کر رہی ہیں ان کو فیسیلیٹیٹ ہم نے کرنا ہے. دیکھیں آج انڈیا میں تقریباً 100 کے قریب یونیکارنز بن چکے ہیں اس وقت. یونیکارنز وہ کمپنی ہوتی ہے جن کی $1 ارب کی مارکیٹ جو ہے نا کیپ ہوتا ہے. یہ اسٹارٹ اپس ہیں جو یونیکارنز بنے ہیں. اور پاکستان میں کتنے یونیکارنز بنے ہیں ابھی تک؟ ایٹ لیسٹ جو فارملی کوئی بھی نہیں, ایک بھی نہیں, 0. تو یہ ہمیں بدلنا ہے. تو اس لیے یہ جو شعبہ ہے बिकॉज देखिए एग्रीकल्चर में या दूसरे शोबों में जो इंडस्ट्री है आपकी, एक्सपोर्ट्स, टेक्सटाइल्स, लेदर वगैरह, जितनी भी आप करें, उसमें बहुत आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आप बढ़ा सकते हैं अपनी कैपेसिटी। लेकिन ये जो आईटी का शोबा है, इसमें जो है बहुत से इसमें स्टडीज हैं। अभी हम $3 बिलियन पे हैं। इंडिया का मैंने बताया आपको 100, 150, 200 बिलियन डॉलर तक है, अगर उनकी जो रिलेटेड इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनको भी काउंट करें। इसमें ज्योमेट्रिक जो है जो ग्रोथ उस तरह हो सकती है, एक्सपोनेंशियल ग्रोथ हो सकती है। और इसीलिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, और इसीलिए हमने ये मुनासिब समझा कि ये सेमिनार जो है कोपेयर के साथ मिलकर इसका इनेकाद करें। बिकॉज अगर हमने रीजनल कोऑपरेशन बढ़ानी है तो उसके लिए भी हमें पहले अपने मुल्क को तैयार करना होगा। और ये अगेन डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन जो है, उससे ना सिर्फ मुल्क के अंदर ये सारी चीज़ें हो सकती हैं, बल्कि मुल्कों के बीच में भी जो इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन है, इंटरस्टेट कोऑपरेशन है, उसके लिए भी बहुत से रास्ते खुल सकते हैं। तो मैं इससे ज़्यादा नहीं कहूँगा। मेरे ख्याल है ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा एक अहम मौजू है पाकिस्तान के लिए। इसमें जो इतने ज़्यादा हमारे एक्सपर्ट्स हैं जिन्होंने बहुत ही जो है ना एलोकेंटली और हमारी नॉलेज में इजाफा किया। लेकिन इसमें जो चीज़ सबसे ज़्यादा सामने आई है वो ये है कि इसमें अभी भी हमें बहुत ज़्यादा काम करने की ज़रूरत है। तो मेरी हुकूमत से भी रिक्वेस्ट होगी और अपने प्राइवेट सेक्टर से भी और इन सारे इदारों से भी कि आइए इसमें मिल के हम काम करें। जिस तरह मिनिस्टर साहब ने कहा, हम तो इसके बाद सेमिनार के बाद अपनी रिकमेंडेशंस जो है ना आप सारों की तकारीर और आरा की रोशनी में बनाएंगे और उनको हुकूमत को वो ज़ाहिर है वो पेश करेंगे पॉलिसी उस पर जो रिकमेंडेशंस हैं जिस तरह की भी इंशाल्लाह। और उस पर मिनिस्टर साहब ने कहा, यकीन दहानी भी कराई कि गवर्नमेंट उनको बड़ी डिटेल से देखेगी और कोशिश करेगी उसमें जो एक्शनेबल हैं उनके ऊपर अमल करने की भी। पर इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है कि ये सीरीज़ को और आगे बढ़ाया जाए। इस पे बहुत ज़्यादा मुज़ाकरे करने की ज़रूरत है, आपस में आइडियाज़ एक्सचेंज करने की ज़रूरत है। और इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत है कि इसमें से जो है ना जो काबिल अमल आइडियाज़ हैं और मिलजुल के ये देखें कि किस तरह पाकिस्तान में हम जो डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, जो मेरे ख्याल है हमारा शायद जो है ना एक बहुत बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है जो हमें मिस नहीं करनी चाहिए। हमारा सबसे बड़ा चांस है इस वक्त तरक्की करने का और पाकिस्तान को इकनॉमिकली और बाकी सारी तरीके से आगे लेके जाने का, उसको मिस नहीं करना चाहिए। तो इसके लिए हमें सबको मिलजुल के काम करना चाहिए। आप सबके आने का बहुत शुक्रिया, और इसमें जिन्होंने भी हमारे से ताउन किया सबका और जो है कोपेर का खसूसन आमना अवान साहबा, गुलमीना जो हैं आज यहाँ पे आई हैं, और जो है ना इनके ताउन का भी बहुत शुक्रिया, और आप सबका भी। और इंशाल्लाह इसके बाद भी ये सीरीज हम जारी रखेंगे। थैंक यू।
I would now like to invite Ma'am Amna for her closing remarks for the day.
Thank you very much, all the worthy speakers. Our chief guest, Ms. Gulmina, Chairperson, NEFTEC, Ambassador Johar Salim, President IRS, our friends, our colleagues, media, all of you. Thank you very much for joining for this national conference. We started with Honorable Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiative, SN Iqbal Saab, and he emphasized on developing digital Pakistan ecosystem, and he believed that digital inclusivity is the right vision of the government of Pakistan for empowering digital transformation. Later in our second session, it was well managed by the moderator, SN, and Ms. Aisha was the first speaker, but somehow due to digital interruption, it was delayed, but she highlighted well about the various initiatives of the Ministry of IT. We believe, as we all know, we are a developing countries. So for a developing countries evolving this digital transformation journey, you face certain challenges. And the reason of organizing this conference is to identify those challenges and find the solution. We Pakistanis are very good in criticizing things, but we have to find the solution because this is our country. We have to build the positive narrative of Pakistan, because our one irresponsible digital media post creates a very negative image of Pakistan. So I request all of you that please share some positive message from today's conference, because our intentions of Center of Pakistan and International Relations and Institute of Regional Studies is to develop the positive narrative of Pakistan to build a digital Pakistan. The second speaker was Dr. Babad Majid Bhatti Saab. Thank you very much, sir, for you are CEO NITB. You are a strong advocate of digital transformation. You highlighted digital economy, digital governance, and you mentioned that right vision, right direction, and right momentum is the solution. And then Dr. Heather Abbas, thank you very much, sir, DG National CERT. Already National CERT is working on number of initiative, whether it's awareness campaign, capacity building, and corporate and government solutions for promoting the cyber secure culture. I believe that National CERT requires some kind of coordination with other institutes so that this firewall challenge can be easily manageable if it is a coordinated effort. So this is one of the takeaway from today's conference as well. Then we are also thankful to the Vice President of Pasha, Mr. Khurram. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. I think Pasha as an association is playing a very important role. And they organize, and we are, witnessing that they organize so many international events with Ministry of IT to promote our IT export, to promote our human resource, and to promote our startup. So I believe, again, if we further increase the digital collaboration, and you rightly mentioned that digital connectivity and digital disruption, you identify the challenge, and I think we together collaborate and find out the solution. And I think our recommendation, which we are going to send to the government, this will be one of the important point. DGPTA, Amesh Azad Saab, thank you very much for answering all the questions. Although I can't say PTA is exclusively responsible for this digital interruption, but thank you very much for representing the stance of Pakistan and our all government institutions. We have been working with PTA, and we really support your initiative for 5G, fiber cable national action plan. Then we also working on your digital gender inclusive strategy, and your team is really active because I see them everywhere. So I think this initiative can further reduce the digital divide, which is also another challenge for Pakistan. At the end, I just want to recommend, and then we request our chief guest. I just shortlisted with the collaboration of our team of COPER and IRS that we should shortlist certain recommendations. And if you think that we missed something, so our teams are here and you can add the points later on over our lunch. So the first point is that we are having many policies, but there is a need of implementation of an effective policy framework with performance evaluation. And this can be done by Ministry of IT and PTA. And the second is vision of uplifting our soft power image through collective efforts and encouraging public-private partnership, so that there shouldn't be any overlapping of work and initiatives, and there should be more collaboration among different institutes. The third point is digital sovereignty through effective cyber intelligence. Dr. Hedisa mentioned about AI and cyber security. So I think we should work on promoting our cyber secure framework for effective digital government. Fourth point is we encourage digital landscape based on AI and quantum decision making, and we should have our leaders who understand the implication of AI and quantum in strategic decision making. And I think there are so many government institutes like NITB who can organize some kind of training programs for our government leaders, for our corporate leaders, so that this digital adaptation, what Johar Salim Saab mentioned, is that is only possible when we are having more awareness and training programs in this regard. Then research and development and investment in human resource development is another recommendation. Linkaging with the right industry and skill set based on the relevant industry. We are really honored that Chairperson NEFTEC is here. We are working with her in Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industries. And with Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we developed a digital certificate platform, which I mentioned earlier as well, that we are encouraging and giving free of cost trainings on artificial intelligence, full stack coding, quantum computing, cybersecurity, to encourage our youth so they should not be depressed and criticize themselves or the government, but they should learn something and try to get some advantage. But again, we request all the government institutions that is not possible if we are not having the proper infrastructure and smooth ICT setup. Cybersecurity playbooks or cybersecurity compliance is very important. And this is also, again, the public-private in a partnership should be encouraged. National CERT can't do everything alone. They also need good supporting plans. And I think your volunteer program and fellowship program, this is very effective. And I think institutes like IRS, COPER, and other institutes can play their role in collaboration. Digital Pakistan is possible through digital inclusive policies and digital framework. And I hope that we all the recommendations of this conference, and we will compile it and we will send to the relevant ministries. And let's hope we all play our role in establishing a strong digital Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Finally, it is a great privilege to invite our guest of honor for today, Ms. Gulmeena Bilal Ahmed, Chairperson of National Vocational and Technical Training Commission, to address us. With an illustrious career spanning over 24 years in the development sector, Ms. Ahmed brings a wealth of experience in peace building, countering violent extremism, developing alternate narratives, communications, research, and capacity building. Internationally recognized as a facilitator, she has worked with esteemed clients in the United States, Germany, Romania, and Bulgaria. We are truly honored to hear from her today.
औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आपकी तालियों की गूंज इस बात का सबूत है कि लोग बहुत थक गए हैं। So I will try. This was not certainly a call for clapping, but मेरी कोशिश ये होगी कि कुछ चीज़ा बात की जाए और एक फोकस्ड अंदाज में की जाए। सबसे पहले तो मैं मशकूर हूँ आमना बीबी का और एम्बेसडर साहब का कि उन्होंने मौका दिया और उन्होंने NAFTAC को शरीके गुफ्तगू किया, क्योंकि इस तरह के सेमिनार्स, इस तरह के डायलॉग्स जो हैं वो होते हैं, होटलों की जीनत बनते हैं। इस वक्त आज जब हम बैठे हैं तो इस होटल के मेरा ख्याल में हर हॉल में इस तरह के सेमिनार्स हो रहे होंगे। लेकिन ये जो अभी कोई आधा घंटा 40 मिनट से मैं इधर गुफ्तगू सुन रही थी, तो उससे एक बात तो आया है कि हमारे पैनलिस्ट जो थे वो they were incredibly well informed और engaging, और हमारी ऑडियंस जो थी या है वो कुछ नाराज थी या है। अब नाराजगी, गिले शिकवे जो हैं वो घर में भी होते हैं, ख़ानदान में भी होते हैं, दोस्तों में भी होते हैं, और जो मेरा और आपका रियासत के साथ सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है जिसमें रियासत पाबंद करेगी हुकूमत को कि वो एक अनेबलिंग फैसिलिटेटिव माहौल जो है वो मेरे लिए और आपके लिए प्रोवाइड करे, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं लग रहा है कुछ मेरी तरफ से, कुछ आपकी तरफ से, हम सब की तरफ से कुछ गिले शिकवे हैं और कुछ तशनगी है। मैडम आमना ने एक लफ्ज़ इस्तेमाल किया, डिजिटल इंटरप्शन। मुझे थोड़ी हल्की सी ہنسی بھی آئی، اور پھر مجھے آپ کی طرف جو ہے میں نے سوچا کہ آپ کا جو نیریٹو اکنامکس کی آپ نے بات کی ہے، تو سیمانٹکس کی، اور جو ہمارے دوست احباب میڈیا سے ہیں، تو لفاظی جو ہے اور اس کی کنٹیکسچلائزیشن اور اس کی سیمانٹکس جو ہیں یہ بھی بہت ضروری ہے۔ ڈیجیٹل انٹرپشنس کا مطلب یہ ہے کہ ایک امید میرے دل میں پیدا ہوئی کہ یہ صرف انٹرپشن ہے، یہ وقفہ ہے، اور چیزیں جو ہیں وہ اسموتھ آؤٹ ہو جائیں گی۔ اور میرے خیال میں ادھر بات بھی ہوئی کہ کچھ جو چیزیں ہیں، کچھ ایپس جو ہیں جو بہتر چل رہے ہیں، کچھ نہیں چل رہے۔ یہ خیر وہ گفتگو ہے جو اس میں جو ہے اس کو صرف ایکنالج ضرور کرنا چاہ رہی تھی۔ ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن کی یہاں پہ بات ہوئی۔ ڈیجیٹل ٹرانسفارمیشن تو ہے ہی ہے، اور اس پہ آپ نے صبح سے گفتگو کی۔ میرے خیال میں لفظ ڈیجیٹل ایوولوشن بھی کہیں نہ کہیں اس ہال میں ہم اس کو جو ہے وہ شیئر کر لیں۔ ڈیجیٹل ایوولوشن اور ڈیجیٹل ڈیولپمنٹ دونوں وہ الفاظ ہیں جو کہ میں سمجھتی ہوں کہ ہم جب 3 اور 13 کا حساب جب ہم کرتے ہیں ای کامرس کے حوالے سے، تو یہ جو دو نکات ہیں میرے خیال میں اس پہ بھی ہمیں غور کرنا چاہیے۔ میرا تعلق جو ہے وہ بلوچستان سے ہے، اور مجھے معلوم ہے کہ میرے صوبے میں 3 ایسے اضلاع ہیں جہاں پہ پبلک پرائیویٹ سیکٹر کو جو لیپ فراگ جو کیا ہے، جو ان ٹرمز آف بیسک فیسلٹیز، ہیلتھ کی فار انسٹنس یا تعلیم کی، اس کو لیپ فراگ جو کیا وہ ڈیجیٹلائزیشن نے کیا۔ ہمارے صوبے میں 3 ایسے اضلاع ہیں جہاں پہ بیسک جو آپ کے بلڈ ٹیسٹ ہیں اور اس کی ریزلٹس ہیں اور اس کی جو ریڈیولوجی کی جو رپورٹنگ ہے، وہ تینوں جو چیزیں ہیں وہ ڈیجیٹلی ہو رہی۔ تو اس لیے میں سمجھتی ہوں کہ جب ہم ڈیجیٹلائزیشن کے بارے میں ہم سوچیں تو ایک تو ہم اس کی ریونیو کی جو اپرچونٹیز ہیں اس پہ تو آپ نے ضرور ابھی بھی بات کی ہے، پہلے بھی صبح سے آئی ایم شیور آپ بات کر رہے ہوں گے، لیکن ساتھ ساتھ ڈیجیٹل ایوولوشن اور ڈیولپمنٹ کو بھی ہمیں میرا خیال میں وہ سامنے ہمیں رکھنا چاہیے۔ بات ادھر ہو رہی ہے، اور میں کنگریچولیٹ کرنا چاہ رہی ہوں ہمارے میزبان کو کہ مجھے بتایا گیا کہ آپ نے غالباً کوئی 1,00,000 افراد جو ہیں وہ ٹرین کیے، اور غالباً 16,000 مزید جو ہیں وہ ڈیجیٹل سکلز میں آلریڈی رجسٹرڈ ہیں۔ سو مبارکباد۔ اور میرا خیال میں آپ نے ہینڈ ہولڈنگ آپ کر رہے ہیں جو ہے پبلک سیکٹر کے جو انیشیٹیوز ہیں، جسے نیفٹیک جو ہے اس میں چھوٹا سا حصہ ہم ڈال رہے ہیں۔ میرے پاس ایک لمبی لسٹ ہے، ایک لمبی فہرست ہے کہ اس وقت ایز وی اسپیک ہمارے کمیشن نے، ٹیکنیکل ٹریننگ کمیشن نے آئی ٹی کے حوالے سے، کیونکہ میں بتاتی چلوں کہ ہم نیفٹیک میں 3 کیٹیگریز آف سکلز ہیں۔ ایک ہے کنونشنل، جس میں پلمبنگ، الیکٹریشین، کارپینٹری، جو کہ بڑے ہائی ریمیٹنس ہیں۔ ایک ہے انڈسٹریل ٹریڈس، اور ایک آئی ٹی ٹریڈس ہیں۔ آئی ٹی ٹریڈس میں پورا ایک مینیو، ایک ارے، ایک کلسٹر آف ٹریڈس ہیں، جس میں پائتھون بھی ہے، لیکن اس میں لوگو ڈیزائننگ بھی ہے، اس میں ڈیجیٹل مارکیٹنگ بھی ہے۔ سو اٹس اے ہول ارے۔ تو اس پہ ہم لوگوں نے کوئی اب تک جو ہے وہ آؤٹ آف 161,000 ہم نے کچھ 73,000 لوگ جو ہیں وہ پریویس بیچ میں آئی ٹی میں ٹرین کیے ہیں۔ ابھی ہم لوگ 16,000 کو اس وقت مزید ہم لوگ ٹرین کر رہے ہیں۔ 16,000 کو وہ سیٹیں تھیں جو ہم نے ری ایڈورٹائز کی تھیں، اور اس میں سے کوئی 9,000 اینڈ سم جو ہیں وہ آلریڈی کمپلیٹ ہو چکی ہیں۔ 60,000 کی ٹریننگ کے مزید جو ہیں وہ ارادہ ہیں۔ ادھر بات میڈم عائشہ نے کی اسکلنگ کی سلیبس کی۔ اچھا، یہ بڑی انٹرسٹنگ ہے۔ میرا ایکچولی ڈیجیٹل بیک گراؤنڈ، آئی ٹی بیک گراؤنڈ نہیں ہے، تو میں وین آئی کیم ٹو دا فور ایٹ نیفٹیک، تو مجھے obviously تھوڑا سا اندازہ تھا کہ ہمارے انڈسٹریل اور کنونشنل ٹریڈس میں کچھ سلیبس ریویو نہیں ہوا، کچھ تھوڑا پرانا تھا، تو ہم نے ریویو کروایا، اور ابھی آئی ایم ہیپی ٹو شیئر وتھ یو کہ جولائی ہی میں، پچھلے مہینے میں ہمارا کریکولم جو ہے وہ ہم نے اپڈیٹ اپڈیٹ کیا ہے اور ہم نے انڈسٹری لنکیجز جو ہیں وہ کی ہیں تاکہ انڈسٹری کا ایک فیڈ بیک لوپ جو ہے وہ ہم انکارپوریٹ کر سکیں. یہ لوپ جو ہے یہ ابھی نیا اسٹیبلشڈ ہے, تھوڑے سے اس کے بھی سگنل جو ہیں وہ تھوڑے ویک ہی ہوتے ہیں اکثر, لیکن کوشش ہم نے کی ہے کہ اس کو اسٹیبلش کریں اور پازیٹیولی ہم لوگ آؤٹ ریچ ہم کریں ٹو انڈسٹری پارٹنرز ان کنونشنل اینڈ انڈسٹریل ٹریڈس. آئی ٹی کے حوالے سے میرا یہ سوال اپنی ٹیم سے بھی تھا اور آپ سے بھی ہے کہ آئی ٹی کا جو کریکلم ہے, جو آئی ٹی کے جو سلیبس ہے, وہ تو I assume and I have been told that it is almost internationally it is there, it is present. آپ نے اس کو نیوانس ضرور کرنا ہے. سو ہم نے ابھی کوشش یہ کی ہے, اگین آئی ہیو اے ہول لسٹ which I'm happy to share and leave it with the organizers, کہ ہم لوگوں نے Amazon کے ساتھ, مائکروسافٹ کے ساتھ, PSN کے ساتھ, گوگل کے ساتھ ہم لوگوں نے جو ہے وہ ان کا جو کریکلم ہے فار اسٹیبلش کورسز وہ ہم نے جو ہے وہ لنک اپ کیے ہیں. ریکمنڈیشنس کی ہم بات کر رہے ہیں and I want to sort of also close it up. ریکمنڈیشنس میں جی سب سے جو ضروری ہے کہ دیکھیں, ادھر پینل پہ بھی کسی نے یہ بات کی کہ جی ڈیٹا کو انفارمیشن میں کنورٹ کرنا جو ہے وہ بھی اہم بھی ہے اور ضرورت بھی ہے. اگر کوئی مجھ سے یہ پوچھے کہ آپ کو کیا معلوم ہے کہ فلاں ڈسٹرکٹ کا یا فلاں صوبے کا اسکل میپنگ جو ہے یا جابس آف ٹوڈے یا جابس آف ٹمورو کے ساتھ اس کی کوئی لنکیج ہے آپ کے ٹریڈس کی, تو آئی وڈ ناٹ بی ایبل ٹو گیو یو اے ویری اسٹریٹ آنسر. اور ہم یہ سمجھتے ہیں کہ جو ہے ڈیجیٹل ٹولس ول انیبل us to actually come up with a clear and cut answer, and on the basis of that, a clear and cut skilling strategy for the country. So I wanted to sort of also share in the recommendations, آپ کی توسط سے بھی ہو جائے اس پہ, تو ہم بات ابھی ہم بلکہ کام بھی کر رہے ہیں کہ ہر صوبے کے, ہر فیڈریٹنگ یونٹ کے ہم لوگ اسپیسیفک جو ہے ان کی جو ہے اسکل میپنگ ہم کر رہے ہیں. on a lighter note, جو ہے ہمارے ہاں جو ہے وہ ایک کورس چل رہا ہے بھکر میں آن ڈیٹ پروسیسنگ, بٹ بھکر میں کھجور اگتی نہیں ہے. So so these are the priorities, and this is where information and data can actually guide us. ہم لوگ کچھ ادھر بات آئی ٹی پارکس کی ہوئی ہے, میرے خیال میں بہت ضروری ہے. بٹ آئی ووڈ آلسو سے دیٹ, آئی ووڈ آلسو ریمائنڈ آل آف اس دیٹ آئی تھنک ناؤ دا ڈیجیٹل امبریس آلسو انیبلز اس کہ ہم زیادہ وسائل جو ہیں وہ لوگوں پہ لگائیں انسٹیڈ آف برکس اینڈ مورٹر. I've just come back from Gilgit Baltistan, where اگر آپ کو جانے کا اتفاق ہوا ہو, اس میں چھوٹی سی جی کوئی 10x8 10x10 کے کمروں میں you have 15-20 people, and these are community run sort of setups. انہوں نے کو ورکنگ اسپیسز بنائے ہوئے ہیں, ڈیجیٹل ہبس بنائے ہوئے ہیں, and they are sort of engaged with the world. So while the infrastructure, while the bricks and mortar is very, very important for our positive narrative storytelling and also for our action, I feel that it's also important to invest directly in the people. ہم کچھ centers of excellence already available ہیں ہمارے پورے ملک میں, بٹ وہ زیادہ جو ہیں وہ کنونشنل ٹریڈس اور انڈسٹریل ٹریڈس کے حوالے سے ہیں. آئی ٹی کے ہم لوگوں نے ہائی امپیکٹ آئی ٹی ٹریننگس ادھر امپارٹ کرنے کے لیے ہبز آف ایکسلنس جو ہیں وہ بھی ہم نے آئیڈینٹیفائی کیے ہیں. ان the current year you'll see us sort of working on this. So I'm going to stop here and make myself also available for any questions, comments, but let me stop with two things that are staying with me from the panelist discussion and from listening to your questions. ہم بات کرتے ہیں کہ ریاست حکومت جو ہے وہ انیبلنگ انوائرمنٹ پرووائڈ کرے. انیبلنگ انوائرمنٹ اسی وقت جو ہے وہ ڈیولپ ہوتی ہے جب میں اور آپ گفتگو کریں, اور دا رولز آف انگیجمنٹ جو ہے شرط یہ ہے گفتگو کی کہ میں بھی سچ بولوں اور آپ بھی سچ بولیں. بہت بہت شکریہ.
Thank you, ma'am. I will now be asking the hosts of today's event, President of Institute of Region Studies, Ambassador Johar Salim, and President of COPER, Ma'am Amna Munawar, to please present Ms. Gulmina, our guest of honor today, the souvenir.